Within the ancient order of the Harbingers, every member knows two prophecies, two eventualities, one of peace and one of doom. Only one of these foretellings may prove true, but not even the gods know which. And so the Harbingers fight, seeking always to stand against the darkness and be heralds of the times of peace. Yet always the shadow lurks. Doom is waiting, biding its time, assured of its own inevitability, prowling like a great cat ready to strike, hanging from above like a blade on a thread. Doom, they tell themselves. Doom is coming, and only they may stop it. But to fight an enemy, you must know them. And so they recite the prophecy of doom.
I shall not see a world that will be dear to me. Summer without flowers, cows without milk, folk without conscience, warriors not brave.
Conquests without a king.
Woods without fruit, fishless seas. Multitudes of storms!
Bad judgments by old men, false precedents of the lawgivers. Forts barren of structures, hollow.
A stronghold coming from mistakes, a devastated time. An excess of lords, but too many homeless.
Joy in evil, covered in sorrow. Everyone a betrayer, each child a robber. Oh, evil time. Son will deceive father, daughter will deceive mother.
And welcome everybody. Welcome to Harbingers, a Horizons Call game. I am Derek Sword. I am your GM for this game. Welcome back to all of my lovely cast, to you who might be joining us. If this is the first time, welcome. This is session 4 of 6. Not the worst time, a weird time to jump in, but we will have a recap for you nonetheless. I am going to have these lovely people introduce themselves, say a little about their characters. We'll do that recap. Before all of that, I do want to say this game is in support of the Entertainment Community Fund, formerly the Actors Fund. You can donate to that wonderful cause and impact this game at any time. The link is in chat. It is on all of our socials as well. And yes, if you hit certain monetary goals, say $5, you can give an advantage. $10, you can give a crit. You can even have things like black spots, which are complications, make things a little more difficult for our players. Introduce fun little things like body snatcher plants that are just in the jungle. Neat little stuff like that. We have a very interesting game with a lot of dark shadows around every corner already. You can make those shadows just a little bit darker. Yeah, let's jump into things because I'm really excited to be back. I'm really excited to get through more mysteries with these folks. So let's go ahead and go around. I actually did not have the screen pulled up, so I'm not sure, but I'm going to guess that Gena is first and see if I remember right.
Hello,
I'm totally wrong. Nope, completely wrong. But Gena, go for it. We're doing reverse order this time.
Hello, I'm Gena. I am playing Saskia Kavirense, an Air Genasi Paladin today. Usually we do a bit, but I don't have any good ideas for bits this week, so passing the buck on that one.
That's okay. It's okay to pass the buck. It's okay to be wrong sometimes, folks. Tell yourselves that. It helps. Rak.
Hey everyone, I'm Rakolai. Rakolai. I don't even have preference on how you say it. I'm just glad you're here. Thanks for tuning in today. I will be playing the role of Croak today, a Kenku Ranger Rogue, with it's just birds and birds and birds in here.
Birds on birds on birds on birds. Absolutely. All weird birds. Speaking of LD.
I was going to say, speaking of weird birds. Hi, everybody. I'm LD, or the Lady Dame. Oops, all weirdos. And today I'll be playing Thea of the Rowan, everybody's favorite harpy. Blood Hunter, Order of the Profane Soul, problem child. Yeah. That's me.
Absolutely, all of those things are true and more. Speaking of problem children, Alex.
Yes, that is not a reference to my character. That's a reference to me as a person. But hello everybody. My name is Alex, and today I will be playing Deciday, the Drow Echo Knight Hexblade 1. And yeah, I'm excited.
Fantastic. Yeah, I'm very excited about that Hexblade part. Not something that I ever like directly wrote into this campaign, so I love the little stuff that pops up. And last but absolutely not least, Abhishek, please take it away.
Hey everyone, my name is Abhishek Matange. I'll be playing Anubia, our little gang's resident Anubite monk and resident skin suit folder. Trust me, that makes sense in context.
Doesn't make
That's
it any
true.
less horrifying in context.
No, it doesn't, but it's nice to know that somebody's out there doing the good work. Um, Fantastic. Okay. Like I said, this is session 4 of 6. We have this one and then 2 more, and so stuff's really gonna start ramping up here. But we do have a recap. Alex, I believe that was you, so the floor is yours. Take it away.
All right, sure. So last we left off, we were beginning a rest in a clearing, and I like to believe that is where we find Deciday sort of like curled up in her tent, like sitting like in like a little sleeping bag, like just being comfortable. And then maybe like 5 feet away is her Echo hunched over with a notebook, and then Deciday is just dictating her notes to the Echo, who's copying them down into her journal. Hostius assassination and the enchanted skin suit yielded little useful information, so we progress into the jungle to find Torlang's sin and whatever doom it holds. Between the maps we found at Haas Place and the research Croak and Thea performed for us, we were able to get a read on the location of the lost 99th Narian Legion, which supposedly will allow us to gain access to the city through some kind of key or artifact that we will find on the corpse of the dead general. But I'm not really expecting an easy repossession, given the fact that we've already encountered at least one instance of creatures on this island refusing to stay dead. I think I still smell like that fucking plant. I don't want to admit it, but I'm not sure this mission is even my primary concern at the moment. Since borrowing Haas axe from Saskia, things have been different. Magic has been coming to be more easily, and I keep finding myself lost in conversation with the weapon. It's a cryptic, curmudgeonly thing, but I suppose that's the company I deserve. Still, I don't know. But I guess we'll see what lies ahead. I'll come out of my tent and see what the hell's going on.
Okay, very well done. Please enjoy that inspiration point. So, if I remember it, you all decided that even though you have come to essentially what is base camp for this not necessarily a tourism sort of thing. It's not like average folk go into the jungle in search of Torling's Sing. It's more like Everest in the early days before there was all the trash at the top of the mountain. It's something that archaeologists, anthropologists, historians, sometimes just adventurers looking for trinkets, maybe, maybe they're going to be the ones to finally discover the city. Maybe they'll, get a couple of Nerian artifacts because this is more of the ancient form of the empire that still exists today. And the empire, being a big fan of itself, will often buy things from ancient times, ancient relics. Uh, but to this day, nobody has directly found the city in question. But if I remember right, you did decide to continue on into the night as the darkness of the jungle kind of just becomes near black. I mean, it was dark enough with the canopy blocking out what little sun was coming through the rain clouds, and as you all push on through this just dark, damp abyss, it becomes almost claustrophobic at a point. Is there anything any of you are doing to produce light or to ease your passage as you continue on?
I have dancing lights. I would like to keep them at a fair distance, like ahead of us, moving in like a seemingly random pattern, just to like give us light, but to make that light appear as if it is unrelated to us.
Okay. Okay. So almost like a Willow of the Wisp vibe is what it seems like. Okay. I
Very
like
much
that.
so.
Yeah. Um, great. So as you all continue on, we are going to do something similar to what we did last time, and have you all just give me what you were doing as you were traveling. We'll do a skill check or ability check, or if you're casting a spell, anything like that, and that will determine this next leg of the journey and what you all experience, essentially. So let's go ahead and go around. So Desiree, I know that you said you were casting dancing lights. Is there anything else, any skill checks you wanted to tack on top of that?
Maybe stealth as just like a sort of effort at like that's the thing I'm trying to accomplish
Okay.
with the dancing lights.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a stealth check. You are still
Mhm.
cutting through the jungle, but I believe that that is still something that you could achieve stealthily. So there's not going to be necessarily disadvantage on that, unless you have armor that provides disadvantage.
Now I've got light armor, and for stealth we have for stealth we have a 19 plus stuff. 25 total, I think.
25. Fantastic. Okay. So that is your stealth. If the group decides they are also moving stealthily, we'll add that together and average it out. But otherwise, as you are the leader, it is like these silent swishes of your blade
Mhm.
that are manipulating your way through this dense foliage. Um, Anubia, what would you be focusing on?
Probably in a somewhat similar vein to what she was doing before the whole thing with the body snatcher plant. She'd probably be kind of on the lookout for anything that might be prowling towards them, especially as the night as the day sort of slowly shifts to night.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and give me a perception check.
A dirty 20.
Fantastic. Okay. We'll keep that in mind as we're moving forward. Are you also moving stealthily?
She probably yeah, probably. Yeah, they probably try
Okay.
to.
Give me a stealth roll as well, please.
And 11.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Croak, what would you be focusing on?
Before I do that, quick question.
Mhm.
If I were to cast Pass Without Trace, could I retroactively add 10 to that stealth roll from
Definitely. Yeah,
Desiree?
absolutely.
Cool. Then I'll do that. So I think Croak will kind of like. I think in this instance, it'll just be a matter of cutting down some of like low hanging branches or like brush, and then like passing it out to everyone to like kind of cover ourselves while we're moving around in the dark.
I love that.
Um, I guess we'll go survival, just like find like a safe route through like the undergrowth.
Okay. I love that as well. I like that in combination with Anubias. Go ahead and give me a survival check, and then if you are also moving stealthily, your stealth roll with your pass without trace bonus, which I did
Cool.
add both for Desiree and Anubia.
Awesome. Okay, so for survival, that is a 17.
Okay.
That's going to be a 27 on stealth.
Okay. 27. Dang. You all already have just between three of you an 83. So you have an average of 27 stealth. So unless somebody absolutely tanks this, um, tank pun for the paladin as well, I think you will probably be fine. Speaking of, Gina, what would Saskia be focusing on?
Um, I'd like to note first that I have blind sight of 10 feet,
Okay.
in case that's useful. Um, about how like do we have a sense of like how far we would be from like our general expected like area? That
When
was
you say
phrased so
general
weird.
expect, yeah, when you say general expected area, what are you referencing?
Um, so based on the research that Croak and Fia had done,
Mhm.
um, we're heading toward like a general area to start like a proper like search, if I recall right. Right?
Yes, I believe your main goal is the final point, the final
Yes.
like battle where the 99th was supposedly lost. It is a mysterious place, and yet there's been more and more research. Like every time a group goes out, they get a little bit further in the jungle if they come back at all.
Mm.
So your ultimate goal is to find the last point where the general said like his journal came back from, and then push further to find the Battle of Kabdak, and ultimately then find hopefully the general's body, potentially a key, maybe still on him, or at least track down what became of him, his legion, and the key from there.
About how far do we estimate, like in time? Like how far are we from that point?
So you could be traveling for another 2 days
Okay.
to get to that, because you also have stopping points. What the map that Rack or the map that Croak has is a map of where the Nerian army made encampments. And
Okay.
so that's where people mostly stop is, hey, here's camp 1, here's camp 2, here's camp 3, here's camp 4, and camp 4 is basically where like it ends. And most people will stay the night to, stay the night at each one. You could push through to camp 2 by probably morning if you kept at a decent pace, which with the roles you all have seems to be something that is feasible. You're moving stealthily, but with pass without trace, which allows you, I believe, to move at a regular pace.
Okay. So with that in mind, for fun, I'm going to cast See Invisibility, which is available to me as a Watcher's Paladin.
Okay.
This allows me to see invisible creatures and objects as if they were visible, and I can also see into the ethereal plane. Um, I'm not sure if that's useful, but just because seems like a haunted as fuck place, just to check
Okay.
if I see anything.
Uh,
That's basically what I'm doing.
okay. At this immediate moment, no, but should anything ping, I will let you know.
Okay. It lasts for 1 hour if you need that
Fantastic.
information.
Okay.
I will also make a stealth check, which I do at disadvantage because of my heavy armor.
Mhm.
I have a +3, so it might not be terrible.
Well, you get a +10 in addition to
Yeah.
that.
Oh, I rolled an 18 and then I rolled a 7.
Okay. So a 20 then. I mean,
A
still
20.
pretty good. Okay.
Not terrible.
Not terrible. All right. And Fia, what would you be focusing on?
I think this time, since Fia didn't really help the last time, Fia is most likely traversing a little higher up into the treetops, and trying to keep a watch on things from above because that's where she's most comfortable.
Mhm.
Um, I would say closer to the front of the party than behind.
Okay.
Um, maybe almost in line. I would say almost probably in line with Desiree. Uh, and just keeping a lookout and for anything from that perspective.
Gotcha.
Not so high up into the treetops that she can't like this. I know this is a pretty dense place, and so it wouldn't be maybe like 10 feet up, maybe 10 to 15 feet up, depending on how the treetops are going.
Yeah, it is pretty dense. Give me a so I'm sorry. You're trying to do you're trying to keep like a lookout from your area from
Yeah.
above. Okay. All right. Let's do a stealth check with disadvantage
Okay.
because you are kind of moving through the brush, especially this brush that hasn't been cut away by
Hmm.
Desiree.
Sure.
But then you can also do a perception check with advantage, because you do have a bird's eye view.
Right. All right. Okay. So the stealth check with disadvantage is still a 28 with the
Okay.
pass without a trace. If I'm still in that, I believe I'm still in that range.
Yes, it should be.
That's with rolling a 5. Um, and then perception check with advantage is a 22.
Okay. Yeah, so you all averaged out to a 26 for stealth. It's like your footfall is almost silent. Like the rain seems to almost like deafen the world around you a little bit, in addition to this magical dampening that Crow provided to you all as well. It is pretty dark, and yet you do get some ambient light, which kind of dances between the foliage from the dancing lights that Desade provided. And Fia, as you soar pretty silently above, looking out for your party, Anubia, as you use your, I mean, the ears perked all the way up, the nose working overtime, trying to pick up on little things around you. You all notice, and especially Saskia, with the seeing invisible things or seeing into the ethereal plane, you all notice that the jungle is just as alive, if not more, during the night than it is during the day. And I don't think that it's a surprise to any of you that night is when the predators come out. Yet, Saskia, even as you look around, you can see what appear to be big cats, um, small humanoids. What's the distance on your invisible sight?
Gotta look. Where is it? Here it is. It's however far my sight is. So
Okay.
I have dark vision of 60 feet.
Okay. I would say just at like the edges of your sight, you can pick up very, very small humanoid shapes. Um, you saw them in town. These are grung who kind of are just like moving about in the branches. They seem to notice you almost curiously, and that's kind of the vibe that all of you get. You see things moving through the brush. You see things, scurrying about, scattering this way and that as you move through, but nothing seems to really have any issue with you or really want to pick a fight with a group of 5 well-armed adventurers as you appear. Um, the night continues, and so does the storm. You all continue just absolutely soaked at this point with I mean the rain that's coming down, with the mud that sometimes comes up to your calves, Croak even maybe getting just a little stuck here and there with just being one of the smaller of your members. But you don't really encounter any issue. um it's a few hours in when Croak, especially with the way that you are traveling, you almost seem to, you don't fall because of your higher dexterity, but your bird foot kind of comes down a little bit harder than you expected it to, and you realize that you're actually sitting a little bit lower than everyone else at this point. And as you look down, you realize that you are standing in a footprint. And as the dancing lights kind of go around you, as the Anubia, you might focus on this as well. You all can see that yes, this is a humanoid footprint about the size of Croak. If Croak were to lie down, like it would almost be, it's as long as Croak is tall. And there is a trail of them that seem to be going in in a similar direction to where you are. It's almost like Desiree, you start noticing that you're cutting away less and less, and you realize that the foliage has been like pushed apart, and that something very big has moved through this area.
Croak is gonna kind of point down at this big footprint, open his beak, and you hear, "Oh, get a look at the size of that one."
What'd you find, Croak? Oh, well, and like Fiat's gonna like sort of circle around where Croak is to try and see the full outline and things.
Are we thinking giants?
Did we know there were giants on this island?
So you do remember that one of the parts of the histories, essentially, the one of the things noted in the journal of General Tacitus is that he lost a significant portion of his legion to an attack by jungle giants early on in his campaign.
Right, I forgot about that. Right. Jungle giants. Huh. Well, I think you found whatever took out the Nerians, or whoever it was last time.
It was Nerians.
Yeah, the Nerians. Look, the brain is slow today. I will.
You're doing great,
everybody. It's
y'all are doing fantastic.
Oh, thanks, Dad. Having had experience with giants and also speaking, I want to like look around and see the area specifically and see what kind of other signs I can find, any more, like if there's any information to be discerned, how old the footprint is, if there's any like identifying marks or things.
Absolutely. We'll go ahead and carry over your roles because this is all, y'all are still focusing on the same thing. Fia, especially with the bird's eye view, kind of, maintaining your flight, flapping your wings to hover above everyone, you can see the trail better than they can. You see Croak kind of standing in this footprint, this five-toed, rather large, I mean, this would be a huge size creature footprint, and you can see the gait of this giant that seems to be walking off in this path. You also notice that there are other paths in the jungle as well. There seem to be upwards of 5 of these jungle giants. That's what you're guessing they are, that have moved through this area. You know that it started raining when you all were in town. So for them to have made this footprint, they had to come through here within the last day, essentially. Because otherwise they wouldn't have made this deep of an impact in the mud, would have been in the dry earth.
Right.
They seem to be moving northeast in the same direction that you all are. And Fia, especially with your perception roll, you can see that just beyond the dancing lights, there are lights moving further off in the jungle as well. They're kind of orangish red, almost like fire, but not like a campfire, because you notice that they are moving around, but they're also giving off more light than like a torch would.
Okay. I relay that information. I don't think that we're alone. Not that I ever thought we were alone in here in this place, obviously, but these tracks are fairly recent, and there's some lights over that way.
Could I, just as a prep measure, cast aid? I'm going to cast it at 3rd level because I have those now. So that's plus 10 to everybody's hit point pool.
Ooh.
Definitely.
Prevention is better than.
And we haven't long rested since our last battle. Is that correct? We decided to push through.
You, as far as I'm aware, you all have not even short rested. So
that's correct.
So yes.
Okay, great, perfect.
Yeah. That's plus 10 to your max and your currents. So it's
nice.
Plus 10 to this.
Oh, great.
Very nice.
For the next 8 hours, and I do not have to concentrate on that.
Very nice.
Great.
Okay. How would you all like to proceed? You could absolutely probably, I mean, with your level of stealth, skirt completely away from whatever is going on. You do not have to go in that direction. You could blaze your own trail. You could try to spy on that. You could try to interact with it. You all could head back home. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just here to give you options.
Well, the way that I see it, this could go several ways. We know that the jungle giants in the past fought the Nereians, which is what we're looking for. So if we approach them or approach whatever these lights are, we might get some more information that way. Or we end up fucked royally because we get attacked by some jungle giants and they take us out the way they took out the 99th, and we fail our task immediately. Opinions? Thoughts?
That sounds accurate.
Have to go forward anyway, so whichever happens, happens. Let's be real. We should probably. I don't have anything useful.
Fair enough.
I think it would be. I think the best thing we could do is stay quiet and avoid these things entirely.
Yeah. I'm in, as much as I love a good fight, I am inclined to agree. I feel like, well, we may be able to get some information out of them. I think if I feel like they're a better last resort sort of situation is dealing with the giants.
Okay. They're not going anywhere.
It's true. This is sort of where they live. I mean, if we had to talk to them, I could, but rather not.
And let's not.
It's not.
Okay. So you all are skirting them entirely. Yes?
That's yes.
Okay.
Let's try and find that yeah. Yes.
You all continue through the night then. I guess I will ask this. Are you getting within 60 feet just so I can know if Saskia is going to see anything?
60 feet's mad close. But
I think
like you all have rolled high enough, they're not going to see you. I'm just wondering if you are scouting at all.
Personally, I think like if we stay sort of as we skirt them, if we keep them in like the periphery, if we're close enough that we keep them in the periphery, and that way if there's any like changes to their movement, that would be an ideal situation.
Sure.
As long as we
so
can,
we could,
you know, just keep an eye on them.
Yeah.
That would.
I agree.
So Saskia, then, what
Yes.
you are able to see into the ethereal plane?
Wait.
Yes.
That only lasts an hour.
Okay, we can say
I
that
just
this is
realized.
like the tail end of that hour because I think that's an interesting thing to do, and it hasn't come up until now. It's all good. So you can see that the lights that are moving about are actually creatures. They are small, like D&D small, but like the size of essentially a small dog. Beetles, apparently, that seem to be giving off some sort of light. And then you also spot the giants, which are huge in size. There seem to be at least three that you can kind of get in like that range that you can see right now. That are sitting. The beetles kind of seem to be like scurrying around them, and that you determine to be the light that they're giving off. One of the giants does not match like their ethereal vibe, does not match the same as the others. It is, whereas the other giants are very similar in like somewhere between like a hill giant and a stone giant. You know, the giants often like take on a certain level of the environment around them. These aren't like leafy green. They have, you know, jungle giants you all would be somewhat familiar with, have, you know, skin that is hardened by the, you know, the constant thorns and rain and everything else. It's more like leathery. But they are much larger than hill giants. So you kind of you can see that just large humanoid, and then one that appears much more animalistic, like they're because the ethereal plane's like your soul, right? And their soul has been altered. It is more bestial in form. So I will throw that, but otherwise, as you all continue on and move through the jungle, not much else really happens. You continue to see like on the periphery, uh, things moving through the jungle, mostly animals. Again, big cats, lizards, snakes, flying snakes, a number of different things. Um, and eventually you notice that like light begins to become more ambient around you as you determine that the sun is rising and is kind of being permeated through the storm clouds, which continue to just absolutely pelt you from above. Um, it is just as like just where you're getting to the point where you all with regular vision could see without the dancing lights, that you determine that you have reached the second base camp. You come to a clearing in the forest, in the jungle, where you have carved your way through. The path kind of becomes a little more walkable and a lot less than the first base camp, which absolutely did have like remnants of people who have been there before. This one is much more ramshackle. There is one tent which is set up, has some tears in it, has a bunch of stitching that's been done to try to repair it over time, and a small wooden sign that is very, very worn, but can very easily still be read as Camp 2. Um, Otherwise, you don't really see anything else around. There is a fire pit. Um, you can see where there has been some digging done, like the squares with like rope set off to like for archaeological digs. But nothing else really catches your eye here. Would you all like to press on, or would you like to rest here? Or would you like to do any checks or anything?
I think it's worth. I'd like to dig around just a little bit to see if there's anything left behind. Even if it's anything shiny that fell off.
I'd like to
Okay.
take a short fucking rest.
Also that
Yeah.
possibly,
Yeah,
at
probably not a
least.
terrible idea.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, exhaustion sucks.
Nobody
Okay.
likes exhaustion. So yeah, nobody likes to be exhausted.
So
Okay.
I'm gonna do
Go ahead.
I'm also gonna do a quick divine sense to check if there's any celestial fiends or undead within 60 feet that is not behind total cover. After the plant thing, not having a great time.
Okay. Yes. What's range on that?
60 feet.
Okay.
And total cover blocks it. So if there's anything like behind a log, I probably don't see it.
Saskia, as your party kind of gets to this clearing, this save point, essentially in your journey, and Desiree, might collapse to sit on a log and take the long rest. Fia goes in search of shiny things, which in my head is a lot like a heron or something, just like pecking around looking for something. Um, LD, go ahead and give me an investigation check as you go to look for things.
It's not totally just like that.
I have to imagine the wings are kind of like tucked
Yeah.
up just a little bit,
Here.
and she's just
like I'm kind
bobbing
of
the
like
head.
scratching at the dirt and just
Yeah.
I did so. How does a 4 sound?
Yeah, pretty rough. And this might be because of what Saskia picks up. Standing where you are with the opening of the tent kind of facing you, preventing that total cover, you instantly get a ping for undead.
Great.
Can I, real quick, could I shoot my crossbow into the tent
Yeah.
before I say anything? I'm just gonna immediately shoot into the tent with the crossbow. Hold on. Why'd I click that? Oh, that's bad. Oh, it's not so bad. That is an 11. Not 11, 18.
Okay.
Forgot
Is
to
that a
add.
disadvantage because you are shooting blindly into the tent?
That is not a disadvantage. Let me roll
Okay,
again.
go ahead and give me disadvantage because you don't even know what you're shooting at, but I respect the energy.
Oh, that is an 8.
Okay. With an 8, you raise your crossbow, fire a bolt into the darkness of this tent, and you hear a voice say, "No, please don't do that." And you see as a half elf dressed in what you kind of determined to be adventuring gear, like satchel across the chest, sleeves, rolled up on what is otherwise like a tan sort of like leathery getup. And he has this brown hair and this like worry in his eyes as he comes out with his hands up. You see he has a short sword at his side, not reaching for it. Please, I don't know what you want. I don't really have anything. My friend's really hurt in there, and I could just, if you all are here to rob me, that's fine. You can take what you want. But if you have any potions or any magical ability to help us, that'd be much appreciated. I've not seen anything like this, so are you? If you're gonna kill me, just kill me, I guess. Please don't.
Sorry, just real nervous after all of this. Do I get the sense that now that I know that there's this person and then a second person in the chat, it's which of them is giving the undead ping?
The one that has walked, you can still get a ping. So let me ask you this. Because divine sense kind of says like, oh, you can hear sweet music, or you can like, how does Saskia's work? Is it visual? Is it auditory? Is it sense of smell? What sensory does she primarily use for divine sense?
I think it is. I think it's auditory. I think it sounds very. How do I want to do this? I think it sounds a little like stormier, like a little like crackling or something.
Yeah, maybe there's just like pressure on your ears with certain things. Yeah, this guy almost like there's nothing. He not pinging at all. Not a celestial fiend, undead, anything like that. But like in that darkness of the tent, it's like it's like you need to pop your ears. It's like the storm is just absolutely roiling inside there. There is something growing inside that tent.
Okay. I will try and make eye contact with whoever's closest to me. I don't know who that is. Like a little like, there's something going on here.
I would have been scratching around the tent too, but somebody might be closer than that.
It's like something.
Probably it's sort of circled out.
What happened? What happened to your group, your friends?
Are you're not gonna kill me?
Depends.
Okay. Depends is better than yes. We're moving on ahead. We were moving on ahead. I'm part of an excavation group. We were able to piece together some new information. We are. Listen, I don't know if I can trust you. Can you put the crossbow down? Maybe that'd be super helpful.
If you can't trust me, then why can I trust you?
I'm not the one holding a crossbow at you.
It's true. It's true.
And you also got me pretty outnumbered here, so.
It's true. I'm not sure what the rest of the group is looking at this point.
I think by this point, Anubia probably would have like gotten a little bit closer, sort of intrigued as to what's going on.
I will put the crossbow down. I'll put it on the ground, actually.
If this is are you guys inside the tent? You're in.
No, he's outside the tent,
okay,
but there's something still inside. He has come out as the crossbow bolt ripped its way through the back of the tent.
I think Fia would go back up into like sort of shadow herself a little bit into the trees and just keep a really strong eye on whatever's going on with Saskia and whoever this half elf is.
I haven't said anything out loud, but I'm like trying to look at people like I'm clearly very nervous.
Okay. Listen, my name's Wade. My friend in there, Sinclair, Oh, I really don't want to get killed today, but all cards on the table because I think you all might be interested in this. And at this point, I could use some new friends. So, in the sake of making friends, I am going to drop my weapon. And he goes to reach very slowly for that and unsheathes it, drops it on the ground, drops his short sword. Friendly. Hi. Again, Wade. Uh, I am part of a crew that has, we believe, discovered the battlefield of Kapdak. So, yeah. Um, but uh, I had gone back with Sinclair to town to get supplies, and we were on our way back when we met some other folks uh, dressed kind of like you. I know there's a lot of black going on. They were less than friendly, and they did something weird to Sinclair, and now I can't go anywhere because he's very sick, I think. And we just need to get back to our we just need to get back to the campsite so that we can excavate and discover cool things and sell stuff. And you all like money, right? You're all okay.
I get the sense. Saskia gets a sense that this sounds vaguely familiar. Um, she will just. I will rush into the tent. I will walk briskly. Don't want to look panicked. Walk briskly into the tent.
Gotta learn the Hippocratic Oath.
Yeah, I'll do a little like come hither whistle to everybody to come toward it. I'll go in. What do I see inside the tent?
The tent is dim light. It is
Okay.
large. It is large enough to fit like probably 10 people. Um, it is very like the air is very close in here. It smells of sickness in here, kind of like that
Yikes.
sweet sickly rot. There are cots all around, but only one of them has a humanoid on it, and it is a striped tabaxi who is lying on his back and just like panting. Like there's the almost seems to be sweating in a way, like the fur looks wet. Um, how long does Divine Sense last? Is it a certain number of minutes?
It's a one thing.
Okay, just one round. Okay.
Yeah.
Only being in here, as far as you can tell, just absolutely groaning in misery on this cot, but not really giving off any other sense of movement or anything.
Yikes.
And that is what you see just immediately. There's no fires in here. There's a little bit of light which kind of comes through the rips and tears and crossbow bolt holes and everything else in this tent, but it is close and dark in here.
Yikes. Trying to see, do I have anything interesting? Does this look like ugh. Hold on while I look through all of my various options. I need a second to look through like various options.
You're all good. And the rest of you would see this too if you did follow Saskia's whistle, pushing past Wade, who is still hands up, sword on the ground, kind of like looking at all of you. Just I don't know what happened. We got into a little bit of a scuffle, and they did something weird, and he started complaining that he wasn't feeling great, and it just really went downhill from there. So if you'll get anything you can do, that'd be really appreciated.
Can you describe something weird to me? Was this a spell? Was this a substance that they got on your friend? What is something weird?
We got into a little bit of a fight, and I stabbed at a couple of them, but they didn't seem to bleed. And then I was focused on my own thing, but I heard Sinclair yelling, and I turned around, and one of them had him by the collar, and they were all like wearing hoods. I couldn't see this thing's face and person's face, thing's face, and it seemed to it put something on him, in him. He seemed really sick. I don't know. It was bad. I think it might be a poison. I don't know. It seems like a poison, maybe, but I don't know why he's still alive if it was that bad of a poison. It's he's just suffering at this point.
When Saskia whistled, Fia would have flown back down out of the trees and stopped right in front of Wade and did a little back thing to sort of blow wind into his face, just to be disconcerting. Yeah.
Gotta show dominance always.
Yeah. Well, that's and sort of nudge Anubia. That sounds like what we found. The guy that we found that's now folded up in your bag. That's kind of what we've run into, things like that. They're disconcerting.
Yeah, glad I'm not the only one who caught that.
Yeah. I'm intrigued by what information you have, because it just so happens that that is interesting to us. But hopefully Saskia is incredibly competent. If anybody can help your friend, it's her.
I do have I have a bunch of things I can do, but I don't know the correct order in which I want to do them.
Okay.
Based on the description of like the thing that happened to her skin suit, is this a poison, a disease, or is it more of a parasite?
So you could do a medicine check if you would like to determine that, unless you have any spells that that would also be a determinant in that.
Yeah, because I can cure a disease or a poison using 5 points of lay on hands each. And then I can, if it's a parasite, I can abjure the extraplanar, which would cause including aberrations, to make a save and then have to be turned and have to dash away from me. Which I don't know if that would be pleasant for so-and-so, but like, if it's a parasite, it would get rid of it, possibly. I don't know. But I don't know the order in which I want to do that.
Okay. Go ahead and make a medicine check. I think that will better inform your decisions from there.
So I don't know how much time I have. And each takes an action. Oh god, that's actually good for once. That is medicine. That is a 19.
Fantastic. Okay. With a 19, you can see movement beneath the skin of this tabaxi. You were not there with the spy, but from the description, this seems very similar. There is a lot of somethings almost rippling beneath portions of this humanoid skin, of this tabaxi skin. Please use your safety cards. You get the idea that this is likely the undead. The tabaxi still does seem to be alive. From your medicine check, you can tell that they are still maintaining a level of life to them. However, this is a parasite, and in and of itself also a disease of sorts. You could likely cure it. There might be a reaction to that, but your paladinic ability to remove disease likely would push this thing from its habitation. How many of them are in there? Kind of hard to tell, and you wouldn't kill them, you would be evicting them.
Yikes. Okay. So, I think there's good news for your friend. I will say this really loud. I will also, I'm not really great at bedside manner, but I will try to be as reassuringly pat. Doing pat, Liz Lemon.
Smack him.
On this tabaxi.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how close are you to the tabaxi?
I would say, since I have to physically examine, I will be right there. Okay. I will be right there. Which might be bad for me. I will be saying this as I'm coming up close, though. Good news for your friend. How far past that do I get? Same thing happened.
Go ahead and keep continuing. I'll cut you off.
Okay, good news for your friend. I think this is relatively simple to fix. I don't think it will be pleasant for them or for us, depending. Um, it is the thing with our, I will not say skin suit out loud, but, the thing that we had seen earlier in town. Not like that music change.
I wouldn't worry about it.
Um, so, I will, yeah, I'm very measured trying to make eye contact with my friends here. So I think it would be best before I do anything to prepare for anything untoward, not for your
That's where I'm going to
friends.
cut you off.
Yeah.
Everyone, you will see as the tabaxi has been like shifting, almost like you almost think it's like a discomfort sort of thing before you realize that it's something shifting within the tabaxi. And you watch as the eyes open, almost seeming to glow with this green necrotic energy, and a pawed hand just grips at Saskia's wrist with that pat pat, and it begins to pull itself forward as you watch splits in its hand start to emit small worm-like creatures.
Yikes.
Saskia, I will need a DC 11 dexterity saving throw as you go to pull yourself from this thing.
All right. Which of my dice do I trust? You. I have a +6, so this shouldn't be terrible. Oh god, where did it go? Okay, that is 11 on the die.
Just enough. Okay.
Nice.
You pull away just as this worm goes to, with these like circular teeth and these small little pincers on its side, that you, with your medicinal check, your sight alone can make out the burrowing nature of this creature, goes to pierce into your hand. You fling it off, and it smacks against the center pole of this tent and becomes inanimate. But you watch as this thing is now almost crawling on the outside with these worms. I will need you all to roll for initiative, please.
Yikes.
Sure, let's go.
Is anyone within 10 feet of me?
I think everybody should be.
Almost
Everybody?
pretty much everyone,
I'm just outside the
Yeah.
tip, so yeah.
So that's going to be a +3 to your initiative roll, everybody.
Right. God, the dice.
Would I have gotten a complete short rest?
Yes, we can say that you short rested in
Okay.
that time. Yeah. Okay, sorry, my mic came out of its stand. Okay, let's get everybody's rolls here. So, did anybody get above a 20?
I did.
I did.
Fantastic.
I got a natural 20.
Okay. So what is that with your bonus?
28 total, I think.
26 total for me with Saskia's bow.
Oh, only a 26? Jeez, Alex.
Only 26.
I also got a 26, which is good for me.
Okay. Do you have a preference between the two of you? Who goes first?
Saskia, you can go first.
Okay.
All right. 19 to 17? Nope. Okay. Well, that is the worm boy. LD, what did Fia get?
I got a 14, which is awfully low for Fia, but
And Croak, what about you?
6.
Oh,
All
no.
right. That's all right. Okay.
what I
Anubia,
get for
it is
throwing off.
it is your turn. This thing is going to get one round of essentially the surprise of the worms.
Yeah.
So I will need all of you, as this thing almost flings its arm outwards and worms just come scattering towards you all in this wave. I will need all of you to do a DC 11 dexterity saving throw.
Okie
And not that
dokie.
high, but
Nice, I'm good at those.
You all
Yes.
have a +3 because you're still within
Perfect.
10
I'm
feet of
also good at dex save. Oh my god. I hate my dice right now.
Oof.
It's fine.
That's bad.
I still.
You had a +3. Saskia?
Yes. Yes. Because my aura of protection.
Big time.
Oh,
It's 26 for Croak.
Dirty
Yes.
20 for Anubia.
Okay.
14.
Okay.
No, mine is also 14.
I rolled a natural 2 for a total of 10.
We
Hey.
love that.
Okay.
I also rolled a 2, but my deck saves are high.
Yeah.
As all of you, most of you, are able to duck, dodge, dip, dive, and dodge out of the way of these worms, Desde, a single one, almost maybe if you might not even notice, but lands on like what's maybe one of the more exposed points of Desde. I'm not sure what armor she's necessarily wearing.
I would say maybe like a hand or something.
Okay. So maybe just like right on the back of the
Mhm.
hand, and you will need to do something about that. I suggest, at least. Okay, let's go to proper order. Anubia, what would you like to do?
So seeing as this worm tabaxi thing is just, trying to shoot out more worms at us, she's not really taking too kindly to that. I'd really rather not have a worm
That's fair.
land on me. Yeah. It's time for these hands. So Anubia is gonna go in for an unarmed strike. It's 22.
Yeah, that definitely hits.
Oh, nice. Max damage 13.
Okay, all right.
And I'll activate my mutables. I'll activate my mutable. It's not my mutable, manifest blow, since that was the first enemy hit with an unarmed strike. So let's go. There you go. I'll give it some psychic damage. So let's roll my d6. So another 2 points of psychic damage.
Okay.
15 damage. So second attack. So second attack for Anubius is going to be another unarmed strike.
Mm-hmm.
That is, I believe that's a 23. That is correct. Yeah, it's 23.
Definitely hits. It has an AC of 10.
Nice.
Yes, the Tabaxi is not wearing any armor.
Less damage this time. It's a 6. But luckily, thanks to martial arts, I can make a third.
Oh no!
Bonus action. So this is why I love monks. This is why I love monks.
Hurting my patient.
26. Well, your patient just tried to, hurt us. So warranted. 26, Derek.
Is that 26 to hit or 26 damage?
To hit.
Yes, definitely hits.
That's another 12 damage.
Fantastic. Okay.
Yeah, that's gonna be it.
Alrighty. So you do notice a certain level of Anubia as you go to make these hits against this thing. It's like you go to cut at the tabaxi and the worms seem to swarm where your blade strikes go. You're cutting away at this infestation while not actually damaging the host, it seems. And to all of you, being members of the Harbingers, you would have seen a zombie a time or two in your life. They're a dime a dozen. This thing is moving like a zombie. It looks like a zombie aside from the infestation, but like the eyes are glowing green. It's giving zombie. But there is something more bad. There's something worse about this. There's something an infestation. I mean, that's the one word that's really coming to mind right now. It's giving plague. Okay, Saskia, it is your turn.
I'm still within. I'm still standing next to them. I will, as I planned to do before this, I will try to grab this tabaxi and I will try to use lay on hands.
Yeah.
At this point, since just to be sure, I can attempt to cure multiple diseases and neutralize multiple poisons with a single use, expending hit points separately for each one. So I'm going to use 5 for a poison and 5 for a disease, if I can get a hand on them.
Okay. Yes, go ahead and make an unarmed strike to see if you can hit. Again, it's only AC
Unarmed
10.
strike. Oh, I have a +7. Watch this be real bad. Oh gosh, okay, so that's 15. I rolled an 8.
Okay. You are able to get a hand on, and as you go to lay on hands, the radiant energy kind of permeates through this tabaxi, and how do I want to describe this? Like water being let out of like a faucet, like a balloon deflating. All of the worms just flee from this radiant energy and just scatter towards the ground. And the floor itself seems to start moving
Ooh.
as these thousands start just scattering towards your feet. But the tabaxi kind of falls backwards and seems to be rid of the pestilence.
Wow, okay. I don't have any bonus action, so I guess I will try to lay the tabaxi back on the thing.
Okay. Yeah, you can absolutely catch the tabaxi and watch as this like flood of worms is now going towards the rest of your party.
I don't want them to hit the ground, especially with the floor like that. Okay. Your friend's okay.
They are going away from the tabaxi. It's like the tabaxi has kind of let out this shockwave of worms towards everyone. Okay. Desade, it is your turn. You have worms at your feet. You got a worm on your hand. What would you like to do?
Yes. What will it take to remove the worm from my hand? Will that be a full action? Is that just something like...
The worm can be killed by a normal means or scraped off using an action.
When it says killed by normal means, could I fold that into an attack, like an extra attack, or does it have to be its own distinct action? Okay.
I think you could fold it into something depending on what it was.
Okay. Let me see. I was not quite prepared for the creature to blow up, so taking a look. And all of the rest of the worms out there, those are like one that's like one creature, right?
We count it as a swarm, yeah.
Okay, cool. If I could. I'm gonna make a poor decision and ignore this worm on my hand for the time being. I am going to... Can we say that my echo like already exists, or would I have to face it in?
Sure, we can say your echo exists. I think if you were going into this tent, that might be something you would reasonably do.
Yeah. So I'm going to like backpedal out of here. I don't want any more of these worms on my skin. My echo, however, can take this shit. So I'm going to just like casually step back out and let my echo take the lead here. So first off, bonus action, I'm going to raise this sort of like spindly black rapier made of some kind of unknown metal and point it at this sort of mass of worms on the ground, and I'm going to use my fucking Hexblade's curse. So this thing is cursed for 1 minute. I get extra damage, and I crit on a 19 for a 20.
Okay.
And then I'm going to use my action. And you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna action surge. I'm just gonna hit it a bunch and see what happens.
Go for it.
All right. So, and this thing is it still AC 10?
It is AC 8 now.
AC 8, even better. I cannot possibly miss this, actually. All right. Where's my damage die? All right. First strike is 10 damage.
Okay.
Second strike is 12 damage.
That is exactly enough. It had 22 hit points.
Oh,
So describe how you are eliminating this swarm.
So I would like to think it's not actually several attacks. I would like to think that the Hexblade's just kind of like, just sort of like this, like cold darkness kind of just like wells up in the tent. And you can, even though it's not physical, you can see this just like sheen of frost just begin to cover the Echo's arm and go up to the tip of the rapier to a point where it almost like concentrates, almost like there's like a little like blue star on the tip of the rapier. And after that kind of like wells up for a second, the echo just like sort of flips the rapier, grabs it like a reverse grip, and just pounds it into the ground. And there's just this like burst of frost that just like freezes all of these little worms.
Complete AoE, absolutely. You watch as some of them are trying to burrow into the ground to escape this like wave of frost that's emanating from the rapier, only to get caught before they can burrow any deeper. You have eradicated the swarm. Have you dealt with the one on your hand?
Not yet. Can I do that now? Or...
You certainly may. We're going to
Actually-
be out of order, but yes, after this.
Can I see what happens first and then try to deal with it? Like, Alex, am curious about what happens.
Yeah, this thing looks like it's going to burrow into your skin. I will tell you that. It has, again, it's almost like if somebody made a nightmare inchworm. It's green. It has these pincers on, actually, like almost like four sides of it. It's not just like a typical insect. It looks like it is made for burrowing. It seems to have several rounds of circular mouths, all with these teeth. And it kind of arches up and goes to burrow right into that main vein of your hand.
Okay, I don't like that. I'm going to try and deal with it.
Okay.
So I'll just wipe it off or smack my head against something.
Okay. Yeah, just go ahead and make an attack just to make sure you don't roll a 1.
17.
Okay. Yes, you literally could just smack your hand against like the hilt of your blade, and this thing, just way too much goop inside of it, just smashes against you.
This might be disrespectful, but I am a jaded and slightly disrespectful person to begin with. Can I walk back into the tent and just like bop Wade on the arm?
Yes, you can. It's very smelly. It's very goopy. It's now on Wade.
Bop.
Okay. Now out of combat order, you all kind of get the vibe that this was really gross and could be a lot worse if there were more than one. Luckily enough, only one. And thanks to Saskia's quick thinking, the tabaxi has stumbled backwards and is being helped back to the cot where he seems to still be alive. Pretty bruised and beaten up, but like instantly, like the sickness seems to be gone from him. And
now, see, what did I say? Saskia, of course, was able to help your friend from being a skin suit situation.
From being a what?
Oh, right.
Long story.
Don't worry about it. Just know that Saskia was able to help, and your friend is going to be fine.
Yeah, I'm very appreciative of... That was really gross.
Yeah.
That was really, really gross. I'm glad that didn't happen to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, goes to pat himself down. Are you sure that didn't happen to me? I can feel worms on me. No, I'm fine. I'm fine. It's in my head.
You're fine.
Oh, don't worry. We would have made sure it wouldn't have happened to you. You'd be dead if it had.
Thank you.
Huh?
You're... Yeah, okay. What?
Look,
Hold on, yeah, go ahead, please. I'm doing my own thing, please.
Look,
if you have something
so
to say.
here's the thing. This thing that you have been tracking down, obviously, is of great importance to several different parties, including the ones who are connected to those worm creature things.
Yeah, love parties.
Yeah,
Yep.
right. Now, see, we happen to be another party that's looking for what you're looking for. We happen to be not the bad guys in this situation. However, some of the other people, very scary. Truly terrible.
Sure. You're also scary, to be fair.
Well, yes, but we're...
Credit you on that.
But, yes.
Good scary.
We are.
Yeah.
But we're the good kind of scary. So, here's the thing, is that... I applaud, you all getting all this information and, wanting to explore and find other things. However, you're going to, if you if you were to continue forward, I promise you, you will run into more of that kind of nonsense.
Oh, I'm not going forward. I'm taking Sinclair and I are
Right.
going away from this island forever.
Yes, that's the wise choice.
So done here. Yeah.
Right. So I think it would be in your best interest, though, so that, the things like that don't get to the things that you were looking for first.
Yeah.
Is if you give us the information that you have.
Sure. Yeah. No. Fuck this place. Fuck all this. Yes.
Wise.
Just like digging in his bag. Just like, here's the journals. Here's the map that I found. Literally all yours. I want nothing to do with there's treasure everywhere. Are you kidding? And not bugs that burrow into your skin. That's a here problem. I don't like here.
Yeah, that does seem to be a here problem. Also, yeah.
Saskia Underbus, it's an other place problem too, but that's not important.
What?
She says that. Never mind.
Don't. Saskia's wonderful, but sometimes we say things. Anyway, this is fantastic. Truly.
You all have fun. I'm gonna go use the metal detector spell on the beaches and just look for lost jewelry at this point. So
that might be the safest thing for you and your friend.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna stay here a little bit longer with Sinclair, and then we're gonna head back. But don't let me get in your way, I guess.
If you like, we could stay here until we're all rested up. Keep an eye on things. Obviously, with your friend still not feeling well, we could keep an eye on things and make sure that you stay safe until you're feeling comfortable to go back to the city.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So I'm still getting the vibe that you're going to kill me at some point, and maybe it's just the vibe that you all give off.
It's just our faces, really. That one over there, and Fia points to Desade. That one you might have to worry about.
You all do really have resting murder face, and I mean that in a nice way.
Thank you. That's a very high compliment, actually.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna go make a campfire. It's still raining. I'm gonna go try to make a campfire, and I am going to watch my back.
Great.
Backs out of the tent, looking at all of you. Probably bumps into Desade. It still has goop on his arm. Okay. Would you all like to camp here then?
Just to keep these folks safe from getting turned into worms again, I think it would be in our best interest. Don't you think?
Long rest wouldn't hurt.
Yeah.
Maybe a long rest?
I was going to say, you could certainly just short rest and continue on, but you have all essentially pushed through an entire day.
Yeah.
So unless you all at least take a short rest, there will be a level of exhaustion.
It's wet and I like to sleep, so.
I want that stitched on a pillow. Okay. As you all go to camp for a long rest, we're going to go ahead and take our break.
Great.
So stick around, and we'll be back shortly as our Harbies go to continue their journey and hi Harvey, and discover more as of yet undiscovered things. Stick around. We'll be back. I'm muted. Avast and welcome back to not Horizon's Call. God, I've done this before, right? Welcome back to Harbingers. Muted, saying the wrong show. It's just one of the many horrors that I'll throw at you. Tech issues and
we all
forgetfulness.
miss Horizon's Call. It's fine.
Yeah, no, it's coming back. Yeah, too many H's too. I could have called you all Humblewood, but I didn't. Welcome back.
It's weird.
A lot of H shows on this channel.
I don't know. I don't want to talk about it. It's pattern recognition, and I have to live with it myself every day. Y'all are lucky that you don't. Welcome back. Just want to say before we jump back into things that thank you for those who have already been able to support this channel, this show, and the philanthropic endeavors that we pursue. This show in particular specifically does support the Entertainment Community Fund, formerly the Actors Fund. It's a great organization. Should you be willing and able, both of those factors are important together, to donate. Donations are very much appreciated and can impact this game. Many donations have already impacted this game. So thank you so much for those of you who have been able to donate. It's very, like I said, very much appreciated. What you are donating to is an organization that goes to support people who work in theater, film, television, radio, music, dance, opera, circus, whether stage or screen, and beyond. It supports people who are in front of the camera, those who are behind the scenes as well, and make sure that these people who provide all of the entertainment that we so frequently take for granted don't fall on hard times and find themselves supported in life. So you're doing great donations to a great cause. Like I said, very much appreciated. And you're also making stuff a little extra fun for me, a little extra difficult for my cast, which I always appreciate as well. Let's go ahead and jump back into stuff. You have decided to take a long rest, whether you camp out in this tent, where a couple of the cots are already occupied by Wade and Sinclair. Whether you choose to make camp out in the mud and rain is completely up to you. Is there anything any of you are doing in particular outside of the just normal rest type of stuff?
I will have having the pile of information of things from Wade will sort of dump them in front of my party and sort of in front of my friends. Well, we it seems have a treasure trove of information. I leave the book learning to the people who like the books. Have at it.
Wade just watches you dump all of his journals and everything kind of like into the soft mud and just oh, okay.
It's don't worry about it. It's fine.
I worked so hard. It's all yours. It's all yours. I don't care anymore. Yeah, no, that's great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you gotta
Do you
let
have
those
questions
things
about
go.
anything? Like if you don't understand the handwriting or anything, I mean, I'm happy to help you. But I, just consider me a resource.
I will pick up one of the books and sort of flip through it to see how discernible his handwriting is.
It is in Elven. So does Fia know Elven?
That. Nope.
Okay.
Somebody else, I'm sure, can interpret that.
Do any of us know Elven aside from me?
I know Sylvan.
I certainly don't.
Croak?
Nope.
Alright.
Just you.
Okay.
Just me.
Have fun, Desade.
I will try.
Desade, go ahead and give me a history check with advantage.
Sure thing.
I speak giant and goopy, apparently.
And
while
what?
I speak primordial. I always think of
Okay.
primordial as being goopy.
Okay, yeah.
While that's happening, can I take a look at the maps that Wade gave us and like kind of cross-reference them with the one that I have?
For sure, yeah. So we'll consider that part of the advantage, unless you also wanted to do your own check. We could call that history or survival with advantage, as you are referencing stuff.
I rolled a natural 20 plus 1 for 21 total on the history check.
Definitely, yeah.
For survival, I have a 22.
Great. So Croak and Desade kind of working together, sifting through the papers. You can kind of tell that Wade is part of a much larger expedition, a much larger crew, whereas a lot of people have been doing research. He's kind of been compiling a lot of that. And what he has determined is that General Tacitus made it past that journal point. What he's kind of pulling from are supposedly reports of people who spoke to the one soldier who made it back from the 99th before he died, writings from them, also writings from other expedition crews who have gotten to a certain point. And what they've kind of determined is that they believe they have found the battlefield Kabdak. They have found a battlefield which seems to have remnants of Imperial soldiers. And as far as they can tell, this is a new site that had not yet been like marked on the map. And Croak, you very much can see that yes, after that like campsite 4, they have identified a new area which is almost like part of the river system. You know, there's one of the main rivers which cuts through that area and seems to be where the battlefield is, almost this dividing line. And Desiree, as you're kind of piecing stuff together, you are getting from like apparently there's were some torn out pages which didn't really make it into the myth that the Legionnaire supposedly had. And they say that General Tacitus had refused to order a retreat, even though their forces had been depleted by half. They had come into conflict with some of the locals, and he put that kind of like in quotations, that were trying to keep the empire out of the Forbidden City. And it also notes that there was a number of casualties on either side and that he was barely able to make it out. But yes, as far as you are aware, it does seem that they have made a new campsite. This expedition group has made a new campsite. You are, as far as you can tell, you are going to anticipate that there will be other people at this campsite, who also, you note, there's some correspondences that say that they have brought in some heavy equipment, is what is listed on the item list. Heavy equipment has been brought in for excavation purposes. And that's kind of some of the last stuff you get. So you have a point to get to, but you don't have any other correspondences at that point. That's kind of like where Wade and Sinclair seem to be going in to get the next letter or next bit of whatever's been found. Croak, I will say the other thing that you would be able to note with a survival check that high is you could make it to that campsite in a day. Instead of cutting over to the 4th campsite, which would be an additional 2 days, maybe, you could actually cut through a new part of the jungle. You know, it would not be a well-trodden path. You would have to make the path yourself, but you could get there by following the river.
I think they'll I'm gonna point this out to Desiree and the others. Kind of like, I guess, like take like a bit of mud and like smudge it on the map to like kind of indicate this new route that we could take.
And I'll in turn share the information about like the manifests of all the materials coming in and the nature of the excavation, stuff like that.
Yep.
It's an 18. Well, a new route, that looks like that's going to save us time. And
Agreed. Although who knows what sort of dangers might be lurking on that new route.
Cannot be any worse than the dangers that had been on the well-trodden route. What is it about this whole path less traveled or something? That's better, right? That's how that works?
I have a feeling it would not matter much one way or the other, because even if the more traveled paths are safer, we would have to spend longer on those paths, which exposes us to more danger simply because of the time.
Exactly.
True.
Yeah, take that, Robert Frost.
Thank you! Thank you, I'm glad.
Okay. The night arrives, the insects just create a cacophony around you
up
all.
in a tree.
Fia's in a tree. All right.
Desiree was there.
No, okay, I was actually, can I track down Saskia real quick?
Sure.
Where is Saskia?
I am probably... I'm somewhere I can keep an eye on Sinclair, who's doing better, but I imagine is still not feeling great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, still resting up. Probably be fine by morning, but it's still in the tent.
Yeah, so I'll be in the tent somewhere.
Yeah, then I'll be hanging out there too. Saskia, do you have a moment to talk quickly?
Yes, I do. What is it?
I will show Saskia my new and improved fucking packed rapier.
I was going to ask. Okay, so you all, whether you are overly perceptive or not, might have noticed that whereas Desiree was carrying around a headsman's axe for a period of time, that has gone away. And the rapier, I will let Desiree describe.
Yeah, it's a strange, angular, spindly black thing. It looks like almost inelegant. It almost looks like a high-level weapon in like a video game in that deeply impractical, overly stylized, dark manner. It just like is that way. This was the axe that we found at Hostius's place, and I think it's changing me. I spells come more naturally to me now. I hear it speak. And I don't know what to think about that. I don't know magic. And I suppose I just wanted your perspective.
Do I? I mean, I had the axe before that. Do I now seeing like the sort of effect when it has an interest in somebody? Do I get like what's the vibe here? Like, can I vibe check this?
Yeah, I'm also realizing that Celestial Fiend or Undead. I'm not sure it necessarily would have given off. Actually, you know what? Desiree might have given off just a little bit of vibe of undead, maybe? There is a necrotic sort of energy to the weapon. There is an aura of death to it. And just as someone who has interacted with this thing, I mean, you know what it was asking of you. It was a headsman's axe. It is an aspect of judicial death, of ultimate judgment. So that sort of vibe, definitely. Like you touched it. You knew what it was kind of like asking of you. There's no check you need because you were in Desiree's shoes literally like 3 days ago.
She's taking sort of like a detached, like, she doesn't like this, but she is kind of like a little curious. Like, it should do its thing over there so she can write scientific notes on this kind of vibe. Like that kind of energy. Like, she doesn't like this. I mean, I'm not an arcanist. I do more matters of faith is a little weird. It's a little, I mean, I guess faith, but she's not really sure how to word this. Like that's what Desiree will see. Like she's trying to articulate something really abstract that she doesn't quite. I would say be careful. It has a bit of, I mean, it's weird to call it. I mean, this is like a different, like, death vibe from the usual, like, thing that we deal in, right? Like,
yes. But also no. Like, there is a sort of, like, this, you wouldn't call this divine. This isn't a god.
Yeah.
But it could be a fragment of the divine in the sense that Hexblade's, like, the blade itself is forged from something of that energy, typically the Shadowfell, and you almost like are piecing together that this is a fragment of the plane of the Shadowfell that has been forged into a weapon.
I would just say be careful. It's not bad necessarily, but magic can be a lot, and It can be good, it can be bad, especially when connected to patrons, let's say. Gods, not gods, higher powers. I don't have good advice, other than be careful. Unfortunately.
I appreciate your advice nonetheless. Thank you.
My specialties are medical matters. This is a bit beyond me, but
Maybe I'll ask the high respects to take a look once we get back.
Seems like a smarter idea. And it was, maybe the high respects already knows about this thing. In particular, personally. You know?
I wouldn't be shocked.
Would you like me to keep an eye out on you? For any reason?
If you could.
I'll do so then.
And then I will just sort of just fold into this little wisp of smoke as Saskia realizes she's been talking to an echo.
That's so shitty. Oh, I love that. It's very good. The night goes on. I'm going to say Wade is not successful in making the campfire. It is raining far too hard for that. There's no dry kindling to be had.
A for effort, though.
No, not even that. Yeah, no. He gave up early. It's like a solid C-. Yeah. It is not quiet in any sense. In fact, if you are used to quiet while you sleep, this might be difficult to sleep. Because again, it is just so loud here with the insects and things moving through the brush and everything. But with the relative safety of this tent around you, nothing seems to cause any problems to you. Even Fia in the tree, you don't see anything necessarily coming to camp. It's almost like the fauna in this area aren't really eager to be in exposed parts where this camp has kind of not have a lot of foliage over top of it. Not a lot of a tree canopy over top. Morning arrives. Is there anything you all would like to do for the morning before you head out?
I'll head down from the tree I was hanging out in.
Weird energy.
Not so weird.
Something.
Uh-huh.
As you all hear a branch nearly breaking the entire night.
We're both little, it's fine.
Okay.
Bird bones.
Oh, God. Wade and Sinclair say their farewells and head off in the direction that you all originally came from. Wade just kind of gives you a little two-finger salute. Hey, I don't know what's up ahead, and I honestly hope that you all find what you're looking for. I just don't think it's anything good. From everything I've seen here, I'd recommend you get out, but you all seem like you're focused, so.
Oh no, it for sure isn't anything good.
Great.
Leaving isn't really an option for us either, so.
Okay, cool. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go live my life, and I'll.
Before you go, wait.
Yes. Yeah.
Just, I'm gonna take. I've got something stashed somewhere out of in a pocket, and it's just a black feather.
Goes to cover his face and sees its feather. Oh.
Hang on to that. You never know when that might come in handy.
I will. Ooh.
It's not a lot, but you did us a good turn by giving us your information, and if you ever need anything, don't be afraid to call the Harbingers.
Oh, fuck, I need to get out of here. I
Yeah,
didn't realize
yeah,
that's
you
what
should
guys were.
go.
Yeah, no. Looks to Sinclair and he goes, "You know we're fucking harbingers? Just give me a
You
feather.
didn't.
What's this?
You
What's this
didn't
fuck-"
clock the this whole, and she points to Croak as well. That didn't clue you in or anything.
I don't know. I've seen a lot of weird stuff lately.
Fair enough.
Goes walking up to the jump.
Toodles.
Okay. Are you all now heading towards essentially the new point? Are you taking Croak's muddy way?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
The
yeah.
mud path. Okay.
I would trust Croak with my life.
It does follow the river, so you all could easily walk on land, unless you all did want to create like a raft or something to go down the river.
Water so much. It's so nice to be on land.
Fair enough.
But
The
that's a
one that-
personal preference. If anybody else has other ideas, always fly.
I think a raft would be neat. But that's all I got. That's my only argument. It
Okay.
would be neat.
New
Raft would be
dangers.
neat. Okay. Does anyone want to build a raft aside from the fact of just thinking it's neat?
Rather not get my fur wet.
All right,
Fair
land it
enough.
is.
Land.
Fair enough. With the concept that a raft would be neat, you all continue on land. Okay, we are moving again. Let's go ahead and get some skill checks or spells or what have yous. So, Nubia, what would you like to be doing?
Once again, maintaining lookout position.
Okay, once again, perception check.
A 14.
Saskia.
Not doing anything in particular. I'm saving my spell slots for right now because she's not a little nervous about what we're going into. So.
Totally fine. Does Dave?
So I have detect magic at will.
Oh.
Can I attempt to do like an arcana thing as sort of like, oh, leaning into my warlock nonsense these days?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just keep an eye out for anything magical. Just kind of see what
Anything
I
that
can
pings. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Croak. Rack, was there anything you wanted Croak to be doing?
I think Croak is just going to be like keeping an eye out, like just keeping us on like the best path to navigate.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a survival check for that, please.
After burning an inspiration, we have a 19 total on Arcana.
Fantastic.
Is a dirty 20.
Okay. And Fia.
I am resuming my position up above to keep the bird's eye view of what's happening, and just kind of keeping an eye out for stuff.
All right. Let's see. So as you all continue through the jungle, with detect magics, with Croak's more than adequate survival check, blazing this new trail, it takes about a day. You, for the most part, the most magical thing that pings, every now and then there's a plant which gives off a little bit, just a little bit of a hint, like you could use this in a healing potion kind of vibe. It's not inherently magic, but has like a quality which could be considered magical.
Sure.
In addition to, of course, everyone around you pinging with their miscellaneous accoutrement. Via from above, looking down at the river, and here you actually have a much more clear path to fly because there's very little canopy over the river itself. And looking down, you actually begin to see some things that I think Desiree starts to ping on as well. And you start to note, Desiree probably first, there every now and then is a magical item in the river. If you wanted to fish it out, you absolutely may. It's maybe in the day that you're traveling 4 items in total. So if you would, they're all pinging just as like, the magical items kind of tough to pinpoint what school of magic. Um, but the vibe you're getting is that these might be magic weapons or uh, like magical wondrous items is kind of what you're getting. But they are like in the riverbed is what you're determining.
Gotcha. I would actually be inclined to stop and at least take a look at these with the group, and like every time we do, like let them know like, hey, there's a thing here.
Mm-hmm.
And I would definitely say like we should retrieve it. We don't know what's out here. We don't know what Starfall is looking here for. We don't know all of what we are looking for. So this would be worth taking a look at least. Bare minimum, we bring it back to the like Harbinger Armory, and the guild house need resources. But I'm definitely like letting everyone know when we pass these, and then like saying we should collect that.
I agree. I do love a shiny thing.
And that is what pings for Fia is like there's a glint beneath the water of something that hasn't really been worn away by age. You can tell where it is. You can fish it out of the river pretty easily. It is somewhat deep, but I'm not going to really make you do a check or anything, so you know exactly what the thing is that you're looking for. The first item that you find is just a +1 short sword, but no history check required. You've seen these enough recently. Heck, Fia saw these in miniature form. This is the +1 short sword of a captain in what would have been the Nerian army hundreds of years ago. That probably has been at the bottom of this riverbed for, again, centuries, since they came through this area. Whereas whether the captain his remains are down there or not, magic items don't really wear away with time and weathering, and it is still just as shiny and nice as the mud and grime are all washed away by the river as probably the day that it was forged.
That's definitely interesting to somebody. Does anybody want to hold on to this?
Croak?
Croak kind of reaches up and makes like a grabbing motion.
Hand it off to Croak.
Grabby hand Croak.
Moving along, I will send you a list of all the things that you find, but
sure.
But yes, it is 4 magical items in total. You find some armor, you find support items, and then you also find weapons as well in total. So we're kind of talking like this is uncommon stuff. There's like a cloak of protection that like washes away, and it's just like it's wet, but it's probably something. It has like Nerian emblems on it, and you're kind of getting that you are following. You're following the trail of a battle. You're following the trail of the 99th as it's being depleted, and whoever was carrying these things fell probably near this location, if not fell transporting themselves down the river.
At the very least, somebody will pay a pretty penny to get these.
So, go ahead.
I was going to say, if even if they're not much used to the Harbingers themselves, somebody will want these.
Very true.
Collectors,
Also, if anyone wants to cloak of protection, let me know.
Yes, I will. I'm putting everything in our chat here so you can divvy it up as you all see fit. But without going through that, and then for the sake of time, you all spend the day to where it is just becoming evening by the time that you reach the muddy X point on the map, the point that Wade had identified, the point that Croak had identified along your path. And it's very clear that you've made it to the location as, again, a clearing. And in this clearing, perhaps for the first time that you all have been traveling, you actually find ruins. This entire time you've been following this trail, it's been mostly like Nerian encampments. Oh, this is where they put their stakes, and this is where they likely had their encampment set up, and all the the tents and everything. this is the first time you are finding stone ruins of likely the indigenous culture. And amongst the ruins, you also see that this was likely the battlefield as well. You have come to a point where the river is kind of cutting through this area. You see that there are some tents set up that are much newer, even newer than the ones that you came from in the last campsite. I'm going to move you all over to this map. Everyone can give me a perception check, please.
Oh god, where'd that go?
Failing me.
Oh.
Mother. Oh, no, that'll work.
So bad.
22.
Okay. 22 for Fia. Anybody better than 22?
25 for Anubia.
25 for Nubia. Okay.
I got a 7.
5 to 22.
Got 7.
I got a
Okay.
7.
Yeah,
Got
Croak.
a 5.
All right.
Yeah.
Explosives. Look at
If
us
you
now.
all would like to move yourselves onto that map, towards the southern end is where you're kind of coming in, where the river has kind of cut through what looks to be, remnants of some buildings. You see some old, columns that have fallen that likely cross the river, probably an old bridge. You see some structures which exist on the north side of the river as well. In addition to the camp tents, which are just off screen to your right, to the east. But what really is spotted by Fia and Croak and Anubia, you see these large machines. They kind of look like Warforged. I think you all probably would have encountered a Warforged from one time to another, but these are much bigger and almost have like a hunched quality to them, with these large backs that almost look like tortoise shell, but they are spiked. And on the spikes, you can see that these machines are collecting skeletons, corpses, and are placing them, impaling them on the spikes, and collecting things. They almost seem to have a magnetic quality to them as well, as you can see some weapons are just sticking to them, some metallic weapons. Anubia, with your highest of perception checks, you would note that this one directly to the north has there are skeletons on all of them. Some of them are wearing armor, some of them are wearing rags, if anything at all. Some of them are absolutely just crumbling in place. But the one directly to the north seems to have a skeleton that is still wearing its full clothing. And again, giving off that magical vibe to Desade, who is doing that detect magic. You are pinging a lot more in this area. You're getting weapons, but that one, the machines themselves are also pinging as magical. But that skeleton to the far north appears to be dressed as you would expect a general to be dressed, and the clothing is still fully intact. So, with that information, what would you all like to do?
Sorry, I'm still playing in Roll20.
How is everybody feeling about a fight?
I'm definitely prepared, but for now, at least, while we still have some peace and quiet, it wouldn't hurt to at least investigate a little.
I agree.
Yeah. I'll let the others sort of investigate while I want to sort of go up a little bit higher and just keep an eye on staying with the group, but keeping an eye on these things that we're watching, that we're looking at.
Okay.
So, what are we looking for again specifically?
So,
looking for like a key or some sort, right?
Mm-hmm.
yes, as far as you are aware, what was marked on the map by Wade as the battle site of Kabdek. This is where the 99th fell. that was centuries ago in a very like not arid, but a very humid environment. Um, so probably what its remains of metal weapons have long ago rusted away. Bodies have been eaten by insects and everything else, and clothing has long since worn away as well. So what probably would remain would be magical items. It is believed that the general did have a key to the Forbidden Gate on his person when he died. It is likely the general was wearing magical clothing, hence probably the one that you're looking towards at the straight north. Um, the other thing is you all expected to find people here. And you do have the tents off to your right, but you don't see any movement. Even the machines themselves are not moving. So it's weirdly quiet here, except for just the sound of rain, just absolutely battering the area around you.
Do these machines like have any like insignia on them to like maybe denote allegiance to any particular side?
Go ahead and give me an investigation check as you go to look for any type of markings on any of them.
Investigation 18.
Okay. Croak kind of, maybe you skirt around trying to look for any type of insignia, any type of emblem on them. They don't seem to have anything overly obvious. You do note, you're like, where, if these things were manufactured somewhere, where would a manufacturer's mark be? And you can see that on the back there is a manufacturer's mark, which does note that they were like basically made by dwarven hands in Axia. These were probably purchased, but they don't seem to be of any, like they don't seem to be owned by any kingdom or royalty. These might be the heavy machinery that were mentioned in the journals from Wade, as these are often used for excavations, for archaeological digs, because they are kind of programmed to look for items of magical significance, for organics. If you want to know more about them, you could roll for Arcana. I don't think there's anything else that really hits too close to these. But yeah, you could roll for Arcana if you want to know what these were.
Sure. Arcana 15.
15? Okay. Croak, you'd at least know that these are called cadaver collectors. They are often utilized after major battles to basically scavenge. They're often used either by kingdoms or empires who are trying to make sure they don't lose out on all the weapons and armor that the dead are wearing, or if something important got lost in the battle, they'll send a couple of these through just to scavenge the area. More often than not, they're used by essentially grave robbers. People who are going to the battlefields after the battle's over and looking to make any money off of the misery. You do know that they're sometimes used in archaeological digs because, again, they have a natural sense of detect magic. That's what their eyes are trained to pinpoint that kind of stuff, find it even if it's in the dirt, in the mud, whatever, and then collect it on their backs. And once they're done, they report back to a secondary location, and everything gets dropped off and they get sent back out again. They're not overly intelligent. They're more just kind of they're machines.
Okay. I think Gena was going to say something, so I'll let her go.
I will say above table, I do have locate object. Stipulation is, as somebody who can prep the spell, I would assume Saskia would know this, but the spell can locate a specific object known to you as long as you have seen it up close within 30 feet, which I have not seen this key up close to 30 feet. Alternatively, the spell can locate the nearest object of a particular kind, such as a certain kind of apparel, jewelry, furniture, tool, or weapon.
Sure.
Would she know if she was to describe like a key of some sort? would that qualify for the second part of like a nearest object of a particular kind?
I definitely think so. Yeah.
Okay.
If you were to look for the nearest key, I think that that would absolutely work for that.
Yeah, because I cannot find the specific key we're looking for because I've never seen it, but I can look for keys. I will communicate that to the group as an option. Saskia will communicate that to the group as an option now that I've confirmed that is a thing. It only works within 1,000 feet.
I think it's worth a try.
It can't hurt. And what's the worst that can happen if you don't fail anything?
Come up with 500 keys.
That would be worse, you're right.
Yes, there's a janitor nearby. Just you find one overloaded keyring.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Yeah, Saskia, you use your locate object spell.
Yes, I will do that.
And absolutely, it does again ping that there is a corpse wearing magical armor and clothing on the back of the cadaver collector directly to the north of you, which does seem to have a key on its person. What would qualify as a key?
I would point that out to everybody. I don't know if it's like the key we're looking for, but it's the closest key.
I mean, it's the only key that you're sensing around here?
And it matches everything we would expect.
Can only sense one key at a time.
Oh,
it's the closest one.
You know, I mean, it's worth a shot. I would like to make a bet that that is, in fact, the key that we're looking for. I'm feeling optimistic.
Don't bet against Saskia. It doesn't work that well.
Yeah, that's... So nobody's going to take... What you're saying is you're not going to take me up on this bet, Desiree.
5 silver.
I am concentrating on this.
10 silver.
10 silver.
All right.
We have a target now.
Okay. You said it's that one? The one I put point to the...
Yeah, it's the big one in the middle here.
Right. Perfect.
So now we got a target.
You don't think if we just went up to it and asked it nicely, it would just give us the body that it's got, right?
I have an idea.
Oh?
I don't know if it's a good one. These are magical creatures, or magical constructs, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this will work, but if it does become a problem, I could try to dispel it. I don't know what effect that would have. I don't know if it would work, but there's a possibility, I suppose, that it just turns it off.
That would be nice.
I'll need to be close, though.
Do you need to be close, or does your friend need to be close?
My friend could be close.
I think we can make that happen.
I'm like so nervous about these things.
Let's give it a try then, I suppose.
They're tall, these things?
They are large.
They are large.
Like
okay.
hill giant sized.
Okay.
And so, Derek, I am able to act through my echo space if I'm not doing anything, and the echo is within 1,000 feet.
Okay, cool. Okay. We are going to enter turn order as you all navigate this map. So if you all would like to roll for initiative for me.
That is a +3 to initiative for everybody.
Mother, Mary, and Joseph, I cannot roll for shit today.
Woo!
Feast or famine over here.
God.
Anything above a 20.
I have.
Hold on, I'm gonna use a reroll.
Okay.
I have
I
a
just need to find
27.
out how many I have.
27 for Saskia.
I think you've got one more. Or this is your last one for...
Yeah, this will be my last one.
Okay.
Did you already use your inspiration?
Yeah.
Yeah, I used my inspiration earlier.
Cool.
I rolled a nat 20.
Desiree, what was yours?
Also a nat 20 for 25 total.
Okay.
Or 28 total.
20. Okay, just beating out Desiree. Just
Right.
beating out Saskia. Um. Okay. Let's see. 19 to 17. 16 to 13.
15.
15. Okay. So, let's see. Fia, what did you get?
I got a 9.
Okay. When Anubia gets back, I will get hers. Otherwise, Desiree, there is no movement aside from the rain. How would you like to proceed? You can use your movement to do what you need to do.
All right, sure. So I will move up here. Do you need me to track specific like distances? Are we going like full rigid turn order or just?
Yes. So full rigid
Okay,
turn order.
got it,
So yeah,
gotcha.
definitely track your distance because
All
I'm
right.
a little bit of hint. I am trying to see how close you get to these things.
Okay, cool. So I can move about 30 feet, so I can get about up here. I can manifest my echo who moves on my turn freely, and I can manifest the echo up to 30 feet away. Let me quickly check. I'm sorry, this class is complicated, y'all.
It's all good.
All right, so the echo can be manifest within 15 feet of me. Shit, can I get another copy of Desert A on the board?
Yes. Let's see.
Or can I? Oh, I've added another. One,
Okay.
two,
Oh, cool. Okay.
three. All right, and then she can move 30 feet. Does the water count as difficult terrain?
It does, and
Mhm.
I will also note that as you have just moved the Desert in front, the one on the right, you notice the eyes begin to light up on it, and there is a slight
Cool.
creaking in its joints.
Perfect.
All right, so trying to keep to land so I maximize my movement. This is as far as I can get, and I would need to be, I believe, 30 feet is the distance for dispel magic. Let me quickly. All right, so I don't believe I can move any further and still be able to dispel on the same turn, which is kind of what I was aiming for.
All right. The one to the left, the eyes light up on that. The one to the right, the eyes dim as you move away from it. The one that you are nearest to, the eyes have now lit up, and it has begun to actually creak back into ambulatory state.
Can I use my action to do a stealth roll to try and avoid to like not anger these things as I'm progressing?
Sure. And which is progressing? Is that the echo or is that the original?
Yeah, the echo is progressing. But the echo shows my stats. That's
right.
10 plus 8 for 18 total stealth.
Okay. It will be a disadvantage because again this thing can detect magic, and your echo is nothing if not magic.
For fucking sure. That's a 3, so 11 total.
Okay. This metallic faceplate with these green glowing eyes turns to look at the echo, and these big metallic claws begin to kind of shift its shoulders, and you hear like this creaking metallic sound as it comes. It was almost like in a crouching position, and these feet just spread with these thumping footsteps as it turns to now face the echo.
Shit. Bonus actions. No, I bonus action to manifest the echo, so that's my turn.
Okay. It is this cadaver collector's turn, as it has been activated. Let's see. It is going to take a couple of steps towards your echo and literally just try to it's recognizing something magical. It is going to try to reach out and collect your echo. Is your echo, is it physical? Does it have like a I think I've asked this before. It has like a goopiness to it, right?
I believe we settled on it being somewhat insubstantial, somewhat goopy, somewhat like airy and translucent, but like can be touched.
Right. Like plasmoid. Yeah.
Yeah.
This metallic claw kind of grips through your echo and goes to place it on a spike, but just finds like nothing substantial in its hand when it does. And this metallic faceplate just like tilts a little bit in confusion and goes to take another grip and another grip, and it's becoming agitated, I will note, but that is its turn as it's tried to collect the echo. We are now to Saskia.
I'm going to try something here. I'm going to hold on. Let me check how far anything is. I'm going to drop. Since we already know where this thing is, I'm going to drop locate object.
Okay.
And then I'm going to cast. I'm gonna try something here. I'm going to cast Moonbeam at, I guess. How far do I want this to be? Could I get a sense when watching this echo approach this, about what distance from the cadaver collector did it set the cadaver collector off? Like, how far away?
Sure. What's your passive? Give me a perception. Yeah, give me a perception check, because 10 is skirted. But if you were paying attention, then I think you might be able to determine that.
Oh, that's so bad. That's a flat 3. It's
Okay.
raining. I can't see shit.
It's tough. I mean, who even knows?
Can I cast? How do I do this ping thing? Can I cast Moonbeam? Let's say about here, 15 feet from the cadaver collector that has the echo on it, out and toward the water.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yep.
Moonbeam, which I get, is a 5-foot radius, 40-foot high cylinder centered on a point in range. I'm trying to see if creating a magical spot effect will draw the collector into that position. 5-foot radius, yeah, so it's a 10-foot diameter.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna say that. Let's see. Let's do it.
Yeah, it's 120-foot range, so that's well within my range without having to move.
So what you notice is that the cadaver collector that is closest to the echo is still focused on the echo. That is the closest magical object to it. However, the one to the right has now been activated.
Oh, cool.
And on its turn will move towards the moonbeam. You notice that it comes into full activity and comes to a standing point and turns to face the moonbeam.
Okay. Seeing that, I don't know if these things can hear, so I will sort of look at everybody, and then I will use my movement to slowly loop around toward the right. Where are these tents, by the way? Are they just like off the map?
Yeah, they're off the map to the right. They're like literally just off the map.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to have to put tents on the map because they weren't significant to the battle.
Makes sense. I will use my movement of like 30 feet to move toward the right somewhere. I will calculate that.
Okay.
Now, but we can move on. That's what I'm doing, though.
Okay.
I'm going to wait for this thing to clear.
So this thing is going to use its turn to move towards the moonbeam. It is also going to swipe at the moonbeam. If it takes damage from entering it, please roll that damage.
It has to make when it enters the space. So if it's not entering the space, it doesn't take any damage.
Okay. It is just focusing on the space then.
Yeah.
All right, that is its turn. Croak, it is your turn.
I think Croak's just going to, seeing that these things seem to be occupied, Croak's just going to start moving around the right side to like make his way towards the tents.
All right.
I think I can. Where's the ruler? There it is. All right. Can I make a dash over here as like my action?
For sure.
And then I think for my bonus action, I'm going to hide.
Okay.
My cunning action.
Okay. The Fia, it is your turn.
Great. I am going to activate the Crimson Rite in the usual sort of way. I think the little that I know about these constructs, I wouldn't necessarily know if they're like resistant to fire or cold or anything like that, or if they're vulnerable to one or the other kind of thing.
You could roll history or arcana.
Looking to see which one's better. They're about the same for me. And I wouldn't have advantage on these. These are constructs. Why would I have advantage on these? I am gonna fire my dice because that's a 4.
Okay. You're not exactly sure.
Fair enough.
You get the idea that like does seem to be a sheen to these things, that likely if they were crafted by dwarves, they have some sort of resistances, because going into any sort of archaeological area is dangerous. You're just not sure what. Croak, there's also something, you said you were hiding and you were near the tents. You have a passive perception high enough for this. You look into the tent area, and for the first time you see that there is just blood everywhere. No bodies, just blood. Abhishek, whenever you are good to be back, no problem at all. If you could roll for initiative, please.
I think we'll pull up the instead of the typical fire line of fire down the whip that you've seen before, it's just the Fiat's whip, the handle and the whip itself. Just get a line of ice on them. We'll go with the frozen damage for funsies.
Got it.
Sort of rolling the dice and guessing. I am then going to. Well. All right. I'm gonna say cover me as best you can, and I am going to use my full 40 feet of flying and my dash action to get to go 70 feet to go to the Echo.
Yep.
And then and as we have done in previous missions, and I believe we talked about this being a thing, Fiat's going to grab the Echo by the shoulders and go up 10 feet into the air.
Okay. It will get an opportunity attack on the Echo then.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's fine.
Okay. That is a 23 to hit. I believe the Echo only has 1 hit point.
Sure does, so it's gone.
Okay.
Bummer. Sorry, tried.
And the Cadaver Collector is now focused on Eufia as it swipes through, dissipating the Echo, no longer something it wants to collect, but more something of agitation. And you are pinging with all of your lovely magic to this thing.
I have so much of it too. Well, shite.
Anything else for your turn?
Nope. That's
Okay.
it. I should probably
All
roll the
right.
damage.
Uh,
Please don't. Son of
Abhishek, Abhishek, we can do your turns whenever you are ready. Um, Otherwise, we are back to top of the order. So Desiree.
All right, shit. Let's see here. Thought I'd suck back. Okay. So I'm going to move 30 feet. Oops. There we go.
Oh, just for the
30
record,
feet up
Moonbeam
here.
does not differentiate between ally and enemy, so everybody be aware of that.
All right. So fuck it. I'm just gonna try. I'm assuming these are all equivalent creatures. I'm just gonna try and dispel the one in front of me and just see what happens. So Derek, I'd like to use dispel magic on the cadaver collector itself to just see if I can turn it off. I've got this once per day.
Go for it.
Well, I'll need to roll for this, I'm assuming.
Please.
Okay. I hope this is good. Oh, natural 20. Fuck yeah.
Fantastic. I was really hoping you were going to do this. Desiree, you use dispel magic to shut down the cadaver collector right in front of you. And all of you would watch as the eyes of these things, glowing green, almost like they're connected by some sort of like network, all shut down. All of them kind of go limp where they are. At that point that you start to notice like a mist rising from the ground, almost like a fog seemingly just coming from nowhere, like it's coalescing around you, and where it seems to be drawing from are almost like these wispy hands and fingers from the soil itself, from the bodies on the back of these cadaver collectors. And in just like the blink of an eye, all of that mist is sapped into the cadaver collector at the top. And you would watch as the ghostly form of General Tacitus steps out from the cadaver collector and points his ghostly blade at all of you and shouts in perhaps the echo of 1,000 times that he has shouted this, the battle that has never ended, a call for attack. And you would watch as all of the other cadaver collectors' eyes now glow with a ghostly blue and animate once again with the spirits of the 99th.
Great.
I thought so.
Bonus action, manifest my
Fun.
echo one more time, and then end my turn.
Okay. All right.
Time to fuck up a Nerean again.
Again.
I think it's at this point you also notice that the one to the north does not just have the corpses of the long ago dead, but also of the recently dead, as it seems that the 99th also took out the expedition that came here with their own machines. Okay.
Yep.
Let's continue on. It is the one on the left's here turn. Now with 3 of you around it and a sense of consciousness to it, you would watch as the helmeted face almost opens, and there is what seems to be like a tube inside, almost like a cannon of sorts, and it is aimed at Fia.
Yep.
Fia, I will need a Constitution saving throw from you, please.
Cool.
Actually, Desiree, I will need which is which? The one on the left or the one on the right? Is whichever one is on the right, I will need a Constitution saving throw from that one as well.
That's the me.
Okay, that's Desiree Prime. Okay.
Okay. Con save is an 18.
Exactly what you needed.
Thank God.
Con save is also an 18.
Exactly what you needed. You all you watch as this thing just emits this noxious gas at you, and you feel it like tensing up the muscles in your body, but you are able to just shake it off and avoid a minute of paralyzation as this thing tries to use its paralyzing breath on you.
Would this count as a harmful gas and or vapor?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I would have had advantage on that.
Oh, cool. Okay. Good to know. Okay.
That delightful necklace you gave me.
Glad to have done it. That's right. You do have that. You know.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So Saskia, it is now your turn. All of these things have activated. But yes, two of them are closest to your allies, and there seems to be the one that has the body of General Tacitus also seems to be possessed by General Tacitus.
I am really far away from everything, so I'm going to take my movement. Let's see how far I get. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Let me go to the 30. What is my movement? 35. I have 35 feet of movement. I will still. Actually, let's go this way. 5, 10, this way, toward the left. Wait, let me check how far. How far am I from Tacitus? He is suddenly in range, so I will. Since I still have Moonbeam up, I'm going to use my action to move the Moonbeam. I can't do a lot at this distance, so I can move the Moonbeam using an action 60 feet, and I believe the Moonbeam is currently within 60 feet of him exactly. So I'll move it up 60 feet.
Yep.
It does nothing now, but on his turn, he will have to make a Constitution saving throw when he starts his turn there. Bonus action. I can't do a lot, so I will use my bonus action. I don't have any smites prep, so I'll use bonus action, Harness Divine Power, to get my second level spell slot that I used earlier back. And that's all I can do. I'm too far away from anything else.
So you're putting the Moonbeam basically right over top of him, yeah?
Yes, right on top of it. Directly 60 feet north.
And he needs to do a save, is that what you said?
At the start of his turn, so
At the start of
now
his turn.
it does something.
Okay. All right. 1 second here, because I'm going to redraw that. And then while I'm doing that, let's go ahead and do... There we go. It is the one on the right's turn that, now having seen Saskia damage its noble leader, is going to take its movement towards you, which its movement is 30 feet. Okay. Can't necessarily get into melee with you. However, it is going to try to use its paralyzing breath on you as well. So I'll need a Constitution saving throw from Saskia.
Constitution saving throw. Terrible. Oh shit, what was that? Oh, I actually rolled well. That is a 17 plus 5, so it's a 20-something.
Yeah, absolutely beat it. The noxious gas does not take effect on you, and...
Wait, is it within 10 feet of me?
It is.
Can I use my reaction for my Polearm Master to hit it with my glaive?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Because a glaive has a 10-foot reach, so it has entered my reach. That is a 25 to hit.
25 definitely hits. Is your glaive a magical item?
It is not.
Okay.
It's just a regular ass glaive. What is a glaive? I've never actually used this glaive before. It is a D10 plus 3. Oh god, that's so bad. That is 4 points of slashing damage.
Okay. And you get the vibe from it as the slash goes against its metal exterior, that it does not have even that full effect, that there is a resistance of sorts to it.
Awful.
All right. Anything else for your turn?
Oh no, that's your turn. That was my reaction.
Oh, that's right. You're absolutely right. Okay, I'm going to have Tacitus take his turn as he has begun it here. So as he begins his turn in the moonbeam, how much damage does he take for that?
He needs to make a, what is the DC? Let me check. DC 15 con.
All right.
Ooh,
That's a failure.
that is a fail. So he takes 20 points of radiant damage because I rolled max damage on that. That's 2d10.
Okay. He's actually going to take, because technically I'm going to consider this a shapeshifter. He is going to take 40.
A shapeshifter makes its saving throw with disadvantage.
Oh, it's disadvantage.
If it fails, it also instantly reverts to its original form and cannot assume a different form until it leaves. Whatever that means.
Okay. I think that's more for like werewolves and that sort of thing. I'm just going to consider, because this is a possession sort of thing, they will make that roll with disadvantage. Hard to return back to a ghost and just keep repossessing. That seems just frustrating. So let's go ahead. Nubia, if you are ready, it is your turn.
Oh, did it take an action?
Finally.
Oh, you're right. You're right, Gena. Let's see. I'm going to have. Sorry, Abhishek, I literally just ripped that from you. You are going to watch as a robotic hand extends outwards, and it is going to summon 4 specters that just rise from the ground, dressed as ancient soldiers. They are going to go on their own turn order, and Anubia, it is now your turn.
Finally, a turn. Alright, so I guess seeing the collector that's come here, Saskia, she'll probably make her way towards that one. Help her deal.
Yeah, I tell you what, if you want to do 2 turns worth of stuff, you absolutely can as well.
That's fair.
Because it doesn't make as much sense for just Anubia to have stood there through all of this.
I mean, fair, but like also kind of funny at the same time. So I guess she'll move her 50 feet to right here, and we'll just wail on this thing. Honestly, seeing nothing better to do.
Okay.
So we'll go with the fisticuffs of fury.
Do your fists count as magical items?
My fists are magic gold.
Okay.
Technically. Yeah. So that is a 17 to hit.
17 just hits.
That is 9 points of damage. And because you're the first enemy I've hit with a one-armed strike, I get to use Manifest Blow, which means I'll give you some psychic damage.
Oh, hey, thanks.
You get a single psychic damage.
Yeah, it does not even take that. It is immune to psychic damage.
Oh, nice. We love that.
Mm-hmm.
Love that. All right, that's fine. I'll just attack it again with my extra action. 24.
24 definitely hits.
Okay. And let's roll that damage. And that is a 10.
All right.
Double check one final thing, see if this is worth using or not, because it just said they're immune to psychic damage. Yeah, that's not gonna. Yeah, definitely not that then. I'll just go in with my bonus action. Attack one more time because of martial arts. Hey, that's a nat 1, but I would finally like to be able to use this feature. I would like to use my balance the scales feature, my Anabite feature. So whenever I roll a 1 on an attack roll, ability check, or a saving throw, I get to re-roll it. And
sure do.
Use the new roll. Okay, that is a 19.
There you go.
And and that would be another 10 points of damage for this cadaver collector.
Fantastic. All right. Dents are being punched into this thing, essentially, as between you and Saskia, you've messed this thing up pretty significantly. Anything else for your turn?
I believe that would be it.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right. Roke, it is your turn.
Okay, if I were to move north, how far could I get on like a basic movement?
Let's see. So that's half movement through the. So moving directly north.
Yeah.
That would be five. What is that? 5, 10, 15. So 20, 30, 35, 30. So you'd probably be able to just cross the river unless you have any ranger stuff that makes difficult terrain not affect you.
What kind of terrain is this?
We could consider this coast, kind of. You could consider this grassland, forest. All of those, I think, would be applicable.
So I do have favored terrain as coast, because I figured, we're on islands.
You are on the coast of a river. Why not? Yeah. I mean, you're literally trying to get across water. I think this makes sense to jump across. So in that sense, you could take your full whatever. If your movement's 30 feet, you could take your full 30 feet. I can't remember if Kenku are lessened like dwarves are or not.
I don't believe they are.
Okay, good.
Okay, so I'm going to move up here.
Okay.
I'm going to... Actually, you know what? I'm going to go here, and then I'd like to take 2 shots at this with my bow.
Okay.
Make 2 attacks. First shot is a... What's my bonus? That's a 23 and a 22.
Both hit. Is your bow or your ammunition magical?
The bow is not, no.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So that is going to be... Yeah. That is 8 points of piercing plus 5 points of sneak attack, which I guess would be rounded down. So like 6 total for that shot?
Yeah. Yes.
8 plus 5 would be 13.
That works out. 13, yeah. So
down.
6
Yeah.
in total. Yeah. That
Okay.
works.
And for the second shot. Okay. Yep. That is going to be 10 points of piercing.
Okay.
As I also send my swarm after it, rounded down to 5. And then for my bonus action, I'm going to duck under the water and hide.
Okay. All right. Croak is going full Vietnam on this. This is full apocalypse now. Oh, it is kind of apocalypse now because you guys are trying to stop the apocalypse. That's fun. That's fun. Okay. Last in the order is Fia. What would you like to
do? Okay, so I'm 10 feet up in the air.
Correct.
Am I within range of this fucker over here? Like, is that... they're large, you said.
They are large. Let me check their range. Yes, if you are 10 feet in the air, you are within range of this thing's physical attack.
Right. Okay, cool.
You'd certainly fly up higher.
Yeah. I'm going to. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go. Decisions. Because these things don't have blood in them, right? That's silly. They are not bloody creatures at all.
Chock
Cool.
full of ghosts.
Cuts chock full of ghosts. We love that. Um, I am going to just swing sort of around so that I'm yeah, here. And I think I'm gonna go up another 5 feet in the air. Which does that take me out of their physical attack range?
If you're moving 5 feet into the air, that does take you out of their physical attack range. They will get an opportunity attack.
Okay. Good. I take that back then. I'm gonna stay where I am and just be there, and I'm gonna go for. I'm trying to think if there's anything that I have. Yeah, we're gonna. I'm just gonna take 2 whip attacks at it.
Okay.
So much of what I can do, I can't do, and yeah, call it good for the whip attack. And it does have the right of the frozen still up on it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So first I get 2 attacks. I do have that. I'm remembering. Ooh, that's not bad. So that for the first whip attack, it's going to be a 24 to hit.
Definitely hits.
Great. And then so that's going to be, let's see. 4 points of slashing damage from the whip, which is magical, and an additional 4 points of cold damage.
Okay. Very nice.
And then dirty 20 to hit for the second attack.
Definitely hits.
And all right. Ooh, good. And that's another 3 plus 8, 11. Yeah, 11 points of slashing damage from the whip attack, with an additional 6 for the cold damage. What did I say for the first attack from the whip? The slashing damage?
I can't remember. I can maybe go back. Let me see recent stuff. Let's see. That was, you had 4 as the original damage.
That's 4 plus 8 because I forgot that I get that. Plus, I didn't add my mod. So it's actually 12 slashing damage from the whip.
Okay. So
that, from that first attack.
Minus additional 8.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Cool. I just couldn't remember if I had actually remembered to add it. There we go. So that's the 2 attacks against that stupid thing. And oh god. I think that's all I can do. Is that true? Yeah, that's what I got.
Okay.
No bonus.
It is the Spectre's turns.
Of course.
So let's see how far you are from. Okay. And Nubia's, I think, just out of range. So is Saskia. Okay. So these things are going to, they are hovering. So they technically have a fly speed. They are going to try to get close to Saskia and Anubia, but will not be able to get there within their full turn. However, one of these soldiers, the ghost of these soldiers, is going to fly up directly to Fia and is going to make an attack. The other one is going to pass through the cadaver collector and make an attack on Desade. So the first attack on Fia is, one attack. That's only a 7 to hit, so I don't believe that
does
hits.
not. Especially because my armor class is now 17.
Desiday, that's a 14. I don't think that hits. Okay. So these, I mean, they are Nerean soldiers. They have large centurion shields. They have short swords. They are taking swipes at you, but there's almost like this slowness, almost like they're moving through water, moving through time in a way, that they try to take these strikes on you, but are not successful. And with that, I
It's
think
good
that's
to
where
know
we're.
some things haven't changed.
Mhm.
Can't hit now, couldn't hit then.
There's a reason I'm wearing a stormtrooper jersey, okay?
Mhm.
Um, that's where we're going to end tonight because it is already 16 minutes past when we normally end, and you'll have a little bit of a battle still ahead of you. So we're going to pick up, that is basically that's bottom of the order. We're going to start at top of the order next week with Desiday. I got all the hit points written down. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for hanging out. We're going to finish this battle up next week and get these lovely folks, hopefully if they survive this, on their way towards the lost city of Toraleng Sin. I'm going to go around, have these lovely people say a little bit more about themselves, where you can find more of them. But before I do that, I do want to give a little thank you to a couple of people and also to you, our audience, especially if you are somebody who has been willing and able, both those are important, to donate towards our endeavors for this campaign. We are raising money for the Entertainment Community Fund, formerly the Actors Fund. Anything you donate goes towards a great cause and can impact this game. You can donate at any time, even in the middle of the week. It just gets paid forward to whatever the next game is. So always bear that in mind. You can find the link to our Tiltify in our chat, also on all of our socials as well. So thank you. Even if you can't donate, it's always appreciated if you can just signal boost. That's always one of the best things you can do. In addition to that, if you follow Sword and Key anywhere, you might have noticed that we were a little quiet this week. We were participating in the strike to basically have a ceasefire in Palestine to end the genocide in Palestine. We stand firmly in that corner. Unfortunately, it has to be a corner and not something that's just obvious that genocide's a bad thing. But we highly recommend that you continue to do what you can do. Discomfort is one of those things that we have to live with, especially while there are things happening in the world that you can use your voice to stop. So we just want to stand firmly in that. And thank you for those of you who were patient with us and supported with us as we moved a couple of things around and also postponed some things in support of the strike. A couple of the things are coming up next week, as I am aware the strike has ended. Sorry, I'm looking at chat. Croak is going to be heading underwater for next week. That's fun. Croak will be underwater for a week. I do want to say thank you to a couple of people. Thank you to Kayla for running tech for this show, for last show as well. Very much appreciated. Kayla is a fantastic member of our community, one of our mods, and I am always appreciative of the work that she does. Thank you to Michael, who does the artwork for this game and many of our games. Michael Sandoval. You can find him, probably Instagram is one of the best places where you can see all of his amazing artwork. At MIKYLSANDVAL. Yes, definitely go follow him, check out his stuff, and bug him about commissions because he does amazing character art, and I only want to encourage him to do more of it. Like I said, I'm gonna have these people say a little bit about themselves, and then we'll do some channel stuff, and then I will let you all go for the evening. So let's actually go in the order we're supposed to go in. So Abhishek, if you don't mind starting us out, where can we find more of your love itself?
Hey everyone, my name is Abhishek Matange. You can find me pretty much over Twitter. I go by neon_Raiden. Voice actor, just loves talking about the nerdy side of things, especially the tokusatsu side of things. So any Power Rangers, Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, Ultraman fans, feel free to hit me up. You can also find me over on Instagram at Abhishek Matange_VO and on Blue Sky at neon_Raiden, no underscore this time.
Thank you, Abhishek. Definitely check them out in all those amazing places. Alex, can we find more of you?
I am only findable here on Sword and Key on
We're very
Sunday
lucky.
afternoons. So hello everybody, I'm having a great time.
Thank you, Alex. And thanks to Alex especially for creating the marketing genius of connecting us to the Barbie movie and continuing that. So I love the sweater. I love the high Harbies. There's a great gif of it now on our Discord. We need to get credit to Michael for the artwork that we're using for that. But we will be posting that next week, I'm sure. LD.
Oh, hey, that's me. Hi, everybody. I'm LD or Lady Dame. You can find me everywhere that's important on the internet at the Lady Dame. I am a streamer over here on the Twitch. Currently, we're doing Daytime Dragon Age on Mondays, although we might have more than just Mondays. There might be more Daytime Dragon Age throughout the week. So that'll be back this Monday. I am also one of the illustrious co-hosts, one of the illustrious hosts, I guess, of the Monster Crush podcast, along with our wonderful GM over here, Derek, where he and I get to hang out and talk about real hot monsters, or questionably hot monsters, which is the best kind of hot, actually. And yes, let's see if I've got anything. I think that's all. And then I'm here on Sundays doing the Harbinger stuff. I think that's all I've got coming up that I can talk about right now. I know that there's some stuff in the works coming around, and so hopefully we'll get to talk about that more soon. Hooray. It's me.
Thank you, Ollie. Next up, Rek.
Hey everyone, I am Rakolai, or Rakolai, or preference how you pronounce it. I'm just glad you're here. Thanks for tuning in today. You can find me here on Twitch, twitch.tv/Rakolai. I build a lot of model kits. I'll probably be streaming later this week. You can also find me on Twitter, at Rakolai, that's R-A-K-O, capital I-A-I, because the proper spelling is taken by someone else. But you can also find me on Blue Sky with the proper spelling, R-A-K-O-L-A-I. And yeah, that's where I am.
Thank you, Rek. Last episode, not least, Gena.
Hey, I'm Gena. You can find me on Twitter at _GenaFan. I am currently, as far as actual plays, I am just here. I have a couple of things coming up that I can't announce yet, but on Twitter, it will be announced eventually. I am also starting soon a actual play blog in which I play solo TTRPGs, one woman plays. It's not up and running yet, but I am planning to get that up soon. So if you're interested in that, it's going to be text only. You're not going to hear my wonderful voice. But yeah, follow me on Twitter for whenever that happens soon. I'm hoping if I announce it, I will do it soon. So everybody hold me to that.
Yeah, manifest that. It's the secret, 100%. Get it, Gena.
Yeah. So that's where you can find me.
That's incredible. Definitely, if you haven't already, reach out to Liz, who is one of our mods, who is also a creator of one-person games and journaling games. She has so many. And that's amazing. We'll be looking out for that in the near future. Thank you again to all of you for joining. Thank you to this wonderful cast. Thank you to our support people like Kayla, like Michael. It means a lot to have cool people such as yourselves joining us for these games every week. My name is Derek. I am your GM for this game. I'm your GM for many games. I use he, him pronouns. Sword is my real last name. Yes, it's awesome. No, you can't have it. You can find me in places at dsword16. It's fine if you want to. It's not a big deal. I'd recommend you follow Sword and Key, though. You can find all of our stuff, including our Tiltify links, our Pally links, which is how we tip our players, all of that through beacons.ai/Sword and Key, all one word. You can also join our Discord there, and we have movie nights over in our Discord that happen every other week, so you can always join there and hang out with us. Hang out with cool folks, talk about cool things. Otherwise, all of our socials, Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky, it's mostly Sword and Key separated by underscores, sword_and_key, for upcoming stuff on our calendar, which you can also add through our Discord and add to your own calendar, or just keep an eye on and keep track of stuff. And we also have the event thing on our Discord as well. But today we had the premiere of the 4-session series of Deathmatch Island, which was very fun to watch. That is going to be on the next few Sundays at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Harbingers will continue. We're getting to episode 5 next week, and then we are taking a week off for the 11th. And then we'll be back for the finale on the 18th. And I guarantee that is not the last time you will see these folks playing these characters, but it will at least be the end of this campaign, this branch of this campaign. Horizon's Call will return for Season 4. Season 4 premiere will be the 3rd of February at 3 p.m. Pacific time. That is Saturday. and will continue with its regular time slot on Saturdays at 3 p.m. from then on. Monster Crush is going to release tonight. I am going to post it shortly after we get off this call. I just need to do one final edit on it. We did delay the release of that due to the Palestine strike. But it is a fantastic episode that LD hosted about theater ghosts, and I'm very excited. It's a very fun episode. So you can check that out wherever podcasts are found. As LD mentioned, it's a podcast where she and I discuss different cryptids, creatures, and miscellaneous monsters and how fucking sexy they are. We romance the horrifying. So check that out, and hey, if you listen to it, leave a review. It's always appreciated. Other things, we will have another episode of Monster Crush coming up in the next couple of weeks. That might be delayed. We'll see when we can record the next one, because LD also hasn't been feeling the best. And I like to be respectful of people's health, call me weird. The next movie night for Sword and Key, which is again on our Discord, will be The Princess Bride. That is going to be February 9th. That is Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. If folks stick around for that, I also do double features, which is also based on recommendations from whoever is theirs. Keep that in mind too. We will have a one-shot of the GMless game Sanctuary, which is created by Megan Lynn on 10 a.m. Pacific time on the 17th. That is Saturday before Horizons Call. We have a fantastic cast set up for that. And then I have Rack joining me in addition to a number of other lovely folks that I'm still organizing for Eldritch Automata, which is like biblical revelations with Gundams. So that will be the 24th, and I'm shooting for probably 10 a.m. Pacific time on that. It's getting closer to the date, so we'll see if I can organize that in time or not. If not, I will announce when the date is actually moved, as nothing is necessarily official. And then the last thing this month, well, I guess we do have one more movie night on the 23rd, which is going to be Howl's Moving Castle. But the last important thing for Sword and Key this month is we have a very special birthday. It is the birthday of our co-founder of Love of My Life, Eva, and that is on the 26th. So mark that in your calendars. It is a national holiday. You don't have to go to work. Tell your boss I said so, and celebrate the amazing human that I get to live with. That is it for us this week. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for hanging out. We're going to see you next week, if not sooner. Until that time, take care of yourselves. Be kind to yourselves. Do what you need to do to make it through this crazy world. Fair winds and following seas, brave mariners. Oh, and weird birds. Always weird birds.